5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. I am so glad you're joining us today on this Thursday. It is a pre-Jake Day. Our pre-Jake Day, we get all excited. We get dressed up. We don't do anything like that. It's Thursday. All right, 239-479-5592, streaming live on YouTube anytime you want to watch and subscribe to the channel. It helps to keep us going on YouTube. It helps us to go on Facebook if you're watching there as well. Please subscribe. Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. And we do appreciate you watching right now this very program. A couple of things I wanted to mention this morning. First of all, we'll talk more about Trump County. Wink News did a little thing on changing the name of the county, and I talked about Trump County and how, look, if the and I'm not sure whether or not this got through to people. I'm not sure whether or not the Wink viewers yesterday got this through, but I guess I'll just say it again. If the cancel culture is going to come into Southwest Florida and somebody is going to tell you what you have to do because the minority of individuals are telling the majority what to do, even if they don't want to do it, then we are going to put a stop to that. And that is why we thought about this and came up with the idea of Trump County, because if they're going to come in here and the cancel culture is going to say, we can't have Robert E. Lee County, we can't have all of these things that have to do with fill in the blank, and you can go to any other issue that might be at hand, whether it's George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, the changing of our history, you can go through a litany of items that the cancel culture would like to come along and stop. And if Lee County is going to be one of them, then I want to change the name right now to Trump County. Why? Because I said so. Because that's who I would choose. I would say, okay, if you want to do it, let's change it to Trump County. And that's why we have the change.org petition. We're gathering signatures. We want to get some support for this for a lot of different reasons. And the main reason, of course, being, listen, that if you're going to come in here and you're going to cancel, no, we get ahead of you. We get to cancel you out, and we get to tell you what the name of the county will be if you are going to make that and force that to happen. Not that we want it to happen. We're fine with Lee County the way it is, but we don't need a cancel culture coming in to change that. I hope everybody understands that, and I believe that they do. All right, so we'll talk a little bit more about that, certainly coming up. The president had a presser yesterday, the coronavirus task team press conference, and I will tell you that the president looks and sounds fantastic. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to play some of it. Presidential, getting to the point, getting to the facts, even if it's hard for those in the press to get it and understand it and fact check it. And then we have to fact check the fact checkers. We're going to do that today, everybody. We're going to fact check the fact checkers. You ready for that, Jake? Are you ready to fact check the fact checkers this morning, Jake the Millennial?
Yeah.
Let's
do it.
Right. For example, if we were to say together, at the count of 3, fact checking, being serious about the best breakfast cereal in the history of mankind, and I count to 3, and we say it together, we certainly are going to be in unison. We're going to be together on this on the count of 3.
Yeah,
on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Quisp.
Cheerios.
Excuse me? Cheerios? You're
Better Chex Mix.
You're a Cheerios guy?
Yeah, just plain old Cheerios.
But that's good.
Chex Mix.
No, that's good because for those that want to stay away from sugar cereals, that's usually where they go. Cheerios, a lot of people, little babies eat Cheerios. Little baby Jake was probably eating Cheerios.
For sure. I'm 100% sure.
Right. So, of course, you'd be wrong about that, but we'll fact check you on it. And we won't fact check you on it. But as we have two different opinions on this, the fact checkers come in and say, well, there's no doubt that Cheerios is the best. But I might make the case that you're wrong about that. And so when the press comes along and says it's not safe to go back to school, how dare the president say kids going back to school and that there's evidence to show that the kids don't spread coronavirus. Can you give me a study? The CNN is like, we're fact checking the president. Well, Now we got to fact check CNN, and we will. All right, so all of this is coming up. That was a little confusing, the Cheerio cereal thing. I'm not sure if that's exactly where we should have gone in that moment. It didn't really go with. Anyway, it's Thursday. Look, I'm already in weekend mode, people. That's what it is. I'm in weekend mode. But the biggest story, I think, one of the biggest stories that we have to talk about this morning is the fact that there is a real decision that is going to be made in November. Dare I say, in a couple of weeks, right here in Southwest Florida and across the state, we're going to have some big decisions to make as well. Whether it's the congressional races and CD19 and some of our local races down ballot. Down ballot is critical. It's important. In November, it's going to be crucial to make sure that we continue to have people in office that are going to fight for our values, not just talk about it, not talk it, but walk it, and how we're going to have to hold people accountable when they don't. Because if I don't hold these individuals that will be voted into office accountable, we are going to be left with those that will not be accountable. And we're also going to be left with situations where if someone gets into office that we know we don't want to be there, if we know is probably going to be an individual who is going to not be necessarily fighting for our constitutional rights.
Not a joke.
Think of one person that I'm worried about. We will see a country much different than we see right now. And it is that big of a difference between where we are and where we are possibly going. The story to me out of St. Louis and the prosecutor's office and what they have done to the McCloskeys, the family, the husband and wife who on their personal property, out of their own home, steps out of their home to protect their property because you had rioters coming into their private neighborhood, 2 homes on a private street that's gated, opening the gate, or breaking the gate, entering that private property, threatening the homeowners. They come out and protect themselves with weapons, and then they get charged. Nobody else gets charged, but they get charged. A prosecutor in St. Louis who decides that they're going to make sure that they are charged. A George Soros-backed prosecutor, that's a fact, who is trying to let's just say, see to it that their justice is served. Not justice served, but their justice. When we come to find out yesterday that here in Zero Hedge, they had the story, the pistol Patricia McCloskey waved at protesters who broke down a gate to trespass on their private streets was a non-operable prop used during a lawsuit they were involved in. A prop. It wasn't a real usable gun. It was real, but it was non-operable. So I want you to follow this. This is why elections have consequences, and this is why we are in a critical moment. This is why it's a big deal. You ready for this? I don't know if you heard this story. It's bad enough that their Second Amendment rights were taken away and their ability to fundamentally protect their property. I mean, how important is that to you? And you might ask yourself, who is and who would be the individuals, the party, who would be willing to take these kind of steps to take that fundamental right away? And listen to what I'm about to tell you. She comes out, she's got a pistol. It's not operable. It wasn't going to hurt anybody or do anything. So a member of Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner's staff, Kim Gardner is the Soros-backed St. Louis prosecutor, ordered the crime lab to disassemble and reassemble the weapon so that they could classify it as a, quote, capable of lethal use weapon, unquote, in charging documents filed on Monday. Can I repeat that again? Did you follow this? A non-operable weapon made into an operable weapon so that they could charge someone who was trying to protect their private property, their home, their property from rioters and looters. I don't know how. Well, I'll go into the story a little more. They ordered the crime lab staff members to field strip the handgun, found that it had been assembled and incorrectly, and then the firing pin spring was put in front of the firing pin, which was backwards, made the gun incapable of firing. So what they did was they put it back together to make sure it would be able to fire so as to be able to charge them with a capable of lethal use weapon. They showed it. It's a fact. It's disheartening to learn that a law enforcement agency altered evidence in order to prosecute an innocent member of the community, said Joel Schwartz, the attorney for the McCluskeys. And they're exactly right. And I don't know how you get any bigger than this, because this is the microcosm, the small story of the big macro, the large story, and it's this. If you don't think elections have consequences, if you don't think that you need to know who it is that's going to be running for office in this town, and I'll take a second to just veer off and tell you that I get really, I don't know about anybody else, but the whole back and forth and some of the things that I'm hearing and the way people are being described and attacks on people's character and each other and going back and forth just to win an election. And again, I would ask you, if you're somebody who is running right now in CD19, if you're somebody who's running, have you served the community? Have you served Southwest Florida and the state? And if you haven't, and you lose the election, are you going to run for local office to show everybody that it's not just about buying a seat, but it's about serving the community? Because if that's not going to happen, I don't want to know about you. That's just my personal opinion. And ask yourself how many people that are running, let's say, for Congress right now, if they were to lose, would do anything to run for a different office to serve the community. That should be part of your decision making. Just my personal opinion. But again, these elections have consequences. There is a specific party that will back the defunding of police, that will say that they will back it. If they don't say it with the words, their deeds of signing onto contracts with certain individuals, Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, people that want this to take place and will agree with the platform that they put forward. There is one single party that would do this, that would allow this to take place, that would see that this would happen and would not do anything to stop it, would not step in and say this is an outrage. I dare Joe Biden to step in and say this is an outrage. Would he? If you're a Democrat, would you? So this was something that when I heard this yesterday, I had to start the show with this because I can't even believe it. I can't even believe that a prosecuting office a law enforcement agency would alter evidence to try to make guilty someone who shouldn't be found guilty to begin with, to protect their own property and their own rights. And then you have to ask yourself, who is it? Which party? Who are the individuals that would have no problem with this happening, would not speak out against this, would not say word one, would not do anything at all to call it out and stop it? And the president is looking at cities like Chicago and Detroit and Portland and now Seattle and all these different places and seeing cities that are being overrun by anarchists. And who are the individuals that are allowing it to happen, everybody? We're going to play some of the audio from the presser from yesterday with the president at the coronavirus task team press conference. And you tell me, who are the people that are questioning why the president would bring up the fact that these are Democrats running these cities? For the reasons we all know and we're talking about. The election is that important. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Let's find out what's happening with traffic up to the minute. Here's Sabrina Katz.
Southbound delays on Livingston to Golden Gate Parkway. If you want a faster option, stick to airport pooling. Also, a very slight slowdown beginning on Santa Barbara heading south to Davis. We look great, though, on the East Trail between Davis to Rattlesnake Hammock. Also, up to speed on 951 south of the East Trail to Marco. The trip to the minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Expect mostly cloudy skies, breezy conditions today, and off and on scattered showers and storms. Temperatures upper 80s to lower 90s. We'll be back in a more typical summer-like pattern by Friday and all the way into the weekend. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
This Fox Business Report is presented by Gulf Shore Business Magazine, online at gulfshorebusiness.com.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Tesla chooses Austin, Texas as site for a factory to build its Cybertruck pickup. The plant will employ about 5,000 workers. Southwest Airlines and American Airlines removed medical exemptions as a reason for passengers not to wear masks. Only children 2 and younger are exempt. Records show the first confirmed coronavirus outbreak at an Iowa slaughterhouse was far more severe than initially reported. The state now says 522 workers were infected, not 221. And the Dow jumped 165 points, led higher by Pfizer on news the U.S. will pay it and a partner nearly $2 billion to secure doses of their experimental COVID-19 vaccine. The Nasdaq gained 25 points. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report, invested in you.
Everyone is talking about David Horowitz's new book, Blitz. It's a #1 Amazon bestseller and just hit the New York Times bestseller list. Blitz reveals the truth about Trump. Don Jr. and Mike Huckabee say you need to get Blitz. And follow David Horowitz every night on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable TV channel. Get the new bestseller Blitz at bookstores or get the free offer and save $28. Call 800-NEWSMAX or go to blitz411.com. That's blitz411.com.
When your liberal relatives from up north come for a month, turn up 92.5 Fox News in the house, in the car, and on the radio at the beach. 92.5 Fox News. Run all along.
Conservative Ray Rodriguez shares our values and he's fighting to deliver results. Ray Rodriguez stood with President Trump to ban sanctuary cities in Florida and hold government officials accountable who refuse to enforce our immigration laws. He also worked to pass E-Verify to protect American jobs and make it harder for illegals to find work. And he stood with President Trump to defend our Second Amendment rights. Conservative Ray Rodriguez worked with Governor DeSantis to grow our economy, cut taxes, and create jobs right here in Southwest Florida. When Governor DeSantis needed him, Ray Rodriguez delivered billions of dollars for water quality projects that will clean up our local waterways and reduce harmful Lake Okeechobee discharges. Ray Rodriguez understands water is our state's most precious resource and has been steadfast in prioritizing clean water. Ray Rodriguez is the trusted conservative we can count on to deliver results in the Florida Senate. He's 100% pro-life, stood with President Trump to fight illegal immigration, and delivered results in the fight for clean water.
I'm Ray Rodriguez, and I'm asking for your vote.
Paid by Ray Rodriguez, Republican for Florida Senate.
My name is Crystal Kenzo, and for the past 2 years, I've proudly served as your elected clerk of the Circuit Court and comptroller. Through our audits of government spending, I've saved taxpayers millions of dollars. Moving forward, I will lead our office into the next generation of services with first-class, streamlined, and automated access to those services. I ask for your vote on August 18th. Political advertisement paid for and approved by Crystal K. Kenzo, Republican, for Collier Clerk of the Circuit Court and Comptroller.
If you're looking for a great-paying part-time job with flexible hours, check out 2020 Census Jobs. You may have another job, or not. You may even be retired or looking for some extra income, but you can also help make sure that everyone gets counted. So apply today at 2020census.gov/jobs to help strengthen your community.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, streaming live on YouTube anytime you want to watch. True Steel Radio, Steel with 3 E's. If you go and you're watching, please subscribe to the channel. It's free, and it helps us to keep this going, so we do appreciate that. Katrina Pearson from the Trump campaign is going to join us at 7:35. We'll talk about the president and yesterday and some of the initiatives that he discussed One of them being the surge of federal agents into cities that have been plagued by violence. But really, there's been cities that have been plagued by violence. Well, if you're watching the mainstream media, you know what you get? You get nothing. You get crickets. You don't hear anything about that. No, they're peaceful protesters. So what happened when the mayor of the city of Portland decided to have a little discussion with some of these peaceful protesters? Well, they weren't exactly peaceful. So we can talk about that and whether or not we should be doing this and how it's being described, and you can imagine. Oh, and speaking of how things are described and people have described, Joe Biden said that Donald Trump is the first racist president in the history of the United States. Yeah, he went there and he said that. I would like to know more about and hear more about what Joe Biden's policies are going to be. A little bit more about the $10 trillion in spending we've got coming up. A couple of trillion between friends, does it matter? It should. We'll talk about that as well coming up.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
It's Kaylee Kobe at Kobe Cooling. It's been almost 5 minutes since you have heard an air conditioning company commercial all day long. Blah, blah, blah. So how do you pick the best? First, only pick a company with NATE certified mechanics. Next, the license holder should also be the owner, not some random license. And you want someone who has stood the test of time. In other words, you want Kobe Cooling.
When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949. And now offering Kobe's exclusive brand, the Florida Reserve. Call and ask us about a 10-year guarantee with no hassle warranties.
You know the problem in Washington? Too many politicians are full of should. They should keep promises, should serve the people, should avoid corruption. But when it's time to deliver, it's just a load of should. Then along comes Donald J. Trump, and the DC insiders, they lose their should. Byron Donalds is a lot like Trump that way. Donalds is willing to shake things up. You could take Trump's word for it.
I want to thank Representative Donalds. He's got a tremendous future ahead of him.
Now Byron Donalds is running for Congress. Donalds fought for low taxes in Tallahassee. He'll keep fighting to protect your paycheck in Congress. Donalds backs term limits. And Donalds stands with Trump to defend our police. Conservative, Republican, Byron Donalds for Congress. He'll make a difference in Washington. No should. Paid for by Club for Growth Action. Clubforgrowthaction.org and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Across the nation, America is moving forward, finding our footing, getting back on our feet. Life continues to open up. Businesses are getting back to business, and we are too. We know you rely on the Good Feet store to be there when you need us. We're open and ready to serve you. Our personally fit arch supports are designed to help alleviate, even eliminate, foot, knee, hip, and back pain, and provide comfort, balance, and support. The well-being of our customers, associates, and community is our highest priority. So we've implemented new measures, procedures, and precautions, keeping your health and safety in the forefront. The Good Feet store is lending a hand to help America get back on its feet. And just as we have for a quarter century, we're helping to improve the quality of people's lives, 2 feet at a time.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? Call 552-FEET or visit us in Naples or our newest store in Fort Myers.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
This is Therese O'Shea with Wink News. A 9-year-old girl has died from COVID-19 in Florida. The Florida Department of Health says she's from Putnam County. It says she had unknown contact with someone with COVID-19 and it was not travel-related. This marks the youngest coronavirus death in our state. Just hours from now, Lee County Schools will hold an emergency meeting. They'll discuss a start date for the school year. This comes as Collier and Charlotte counties push back their start dates. Trust Wink News to be at that meeting. This morning, employees at one local hospital will push back against what they say are unsafe work conditions. There's a planned protest at Fawcett Memorial Hospital in Port Charlotte at 8 a.m. Nurses who work there say there are dangerously low levels of staffing. Just hours from now, you can donate blood and get an antibody test. There's a big need for blood right now. You can donate today at D. Gates Insurance Group along Del Prado Boulevard in Cape Coral. That's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Masks are now required in Collier County, but one business says it will not be following that order. At Seed to Table, owner Alfie Oakes says he will not crack down on requiring face coverings. Despite his stance, the grocery store is still experiencing a heavy flow of traffic. While some agree with Oakes' decision, others are unhappy with the lack of safety precautions. Florida breweries are really struggling during the pandemic. Up to 100 across the state could be forced to close for good if reopening rollbacks continue. We told you last week the Fort Myers Brewing Company ran out of federal loans it used to stay afloat. The owner says they're now using savings they plan to use for an expansion. I'm Therese O'Shea, Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
Southbound delays on Livingston to Golden Gate Parkway. If you want a faster option, stick to airport pulling. Also, a very slight slowdown beginning on Santa Barbara heading south to Davis. We look great, though, on the East Trail between Davis to Rattlesnake Hammock. Also, up to speed on 951 south of the East Trail to Marco. The trip to the minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Again, expect scattered showers and storms off and on throughout most of the day, mostly cloudy skies and breezy conditions here throughout the afternoon. High temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s, but we're back in our typical summer-like pattern Friday and all the way into the weekend. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
The antidote to the anti-conservatives. 92.5 Fox News.
Trust all along. I'm here with Mike Roberts with Mortgage Warehouse. Mike, give me an update on mortgage rates. How are things looking?
There is a lot of talk about mortgage rates these days, and for good reason. Mortgage rates are nearing the lowest levels we've seen in years. Anyone that purchased their home in 2017 or 2018 should check into refinancing their mortgage to get a lower interest rate. Give us a call at 313-5000 or apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com. You'll work directly with one of our loan officers right here in Southwest Florida. Our no closing costs program allows you to refinance with no fees out of pocket, no fees rolled into your loan, and you won't pay any Florida mortgage taxes either. If you took out a mortgage in 2017 or 2018, or you have an interest rate above 4%, or you are paying mortgage insurance, also known as PMI, call us at 313-5000, that's 313-5000, or apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm Mike Gillimbardo. I'm running to represent you in Florida's House of Representatives. I grew up right here in Cape Coral. It's where I went to school, learned to play football, and it's the place I called home while fighting in Operation Iraqi Freedom. Now, it's where I'm raising my family and operating my businesses. President Trump and our freedoms are under attack, and we need strong conservatives in Tallahassee. I fought for you on the battlefield. Now I'm ready to fight for you in Florida's capital. My faith in God and belief in individual liberties have always been a guiding force in my life. Whether on the battlefields of Iraq or fighting for our conservative values at home, I'm passionate about protecting our way of life. My name is Mike Gillimbardo. I'm a husband, father, combat veteran, and business owner. I'm running for the Florida House to fight for our Constitution, to defend our borders, and to stand with President Donald Trump to rebuild the greatest economy in the history of our nation. I'm Mike Gillimbardo, and I'm asking for your vote. Paid by Mike Gillimbardo, Republican, for the Florida House.
It has never happened before and may never happen again. $1 million in credit stimulus at Galliana Kia in Fort Myers. We've teamed up with the most forgiving lenders in America to get everyone approved for the new car they really want. If you've got $500 down and you make at least $2,000 per month, you could be approved for new 2020 Kia Sportage lease, just $199 per month. That's right, a new SUV for $199 per month. Bad credit, first-time buyer, unemployed, overwhelmed, upside down. During the credit stimulus event, all credit situations are welcome. It's first come, first served. So arrive early and be prepared to drive home today. But hurry, because when the $1 million in credit stimulus runs out, this sale is over at Galliana Kia, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
36-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, $24.99 to assign, plus tax, title, dealer, and acquisition fee. 0 security deposit with lender approval expires month 5.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Stay break, 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592 is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. Streaming live on the YouTubes. Look at you. There I am. I'm pointing at you right now. And if you're watching me on Facebook or YouTube, please go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. Subscribe. It's for free. And it does help keep this going so you can continue to watch. If that's something that you enjoy, you get a little alert each day, so it'll pop up and you'll know when we're live on the air. And that is a beautiful thing that you would take the time to watch. I'm not saying that I'm a beautiful thing. You can see for yourself that is clearly not the case. 239-479-5592. That is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. A couple of things I wanted to get to. The discussion, obviously, now here in Southwest Florida. What are we going to do when it comes to schools and getting our kids back to school, and whether or not it's safe? Is it safe to get our kids back to school? And today there's going to be a discussion. Lee County School Board, as a matter of fact, they're going to talk pushing the school start date back. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they're going to. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it's going to happen. Why? Because it seems like everybody else is doing it, and I just wonder what the evidence is. I'm assuming that Lee County School Board and every other school board has been prepared up to this point for this moment, like understanding that this was a possibility, and leading up to this moment that the decision would not be made because they're not ready. You would assume that in the world that we have lived in for the past couple of months, that every school district would have been prepared for the worst. I mean, wouldn't you do that? Jake, I'm just asking. I'm putting this out there. Maybe you have a thought on this. 239-479-5592. Am I wrong in saying this? For example, if you in life don't have a financial plan, isn't the time to make the plan before the bottom drops out? You should be prepared for the worst so that if the worst were to happen, you would be ahead of the game. I would assume that financially speaking, or even physically on the ground and what you can and can't do speaking, I would assume that school districts and other places, businesses, should all have been prepared for this moment because we've been in it. And preparing for the best and the worst. Like, we're going to get back to school. We're going to be coming back to school and what that entails. I assume that they all are. I'm not saying that they're not, and they haven't been. But having said that, I do want to know the evidence that people have if they've made the decision to push the back the school start date. I don't know what Lee County is going to decide. I assume that you have a say in it. Give us the evidence to show that this is a good choice. Want to make sure that that's out there. And it was brought up to the president yesterday, and then CNN quickly had to fact check him because that's what they do. And so I now have to fact check CNN because of what they said about the president with regards to how kids spread the virus. Do they spread the virus? Is there evidence to say that they do? Please stay where you are because you might want to hear this. This is kind of important because it's out there. All right, I want to go to John real quick. John's in L.A. John wanted to weigh in on Trump County. You know, we're talking about Trump County. If the cancel culture is coming to Southwest Florida, if they're coming here, you know, we get a chance to say, you have the power to say no, and maybe we get ahead of this. If we know it's going to continue to be knocking on our door, how about we change the name of Lee County to Trump County? John, your thoughts on that? Is John there?
Started.
There you go. Okay, wait, John. Hold on a second, John. Start off again because I only caught half the conversation because the phone didn't connect until you were halfway through. So go ahead, John.
Okay. I'm all for the Trump County, 100%. 45th president, honorable position, love it. But somebody else has started a petition for Colusa County name.
Yeah, and
but all for the Trump. You were on Wink News this morning.
Yeah, I guess I was, huh? Well, here's an interesting point to that. Okay, I am trying to make the case that I don't want, and John, you kind of have a little issue with the phone there for me, so I'm going to have to let you go, but thanks for the call, 239-479-5592. And by the way, I'm going to replay an interview from yesterday with Spencer Roach, Representative Spencer Roach, because I had asked it was Spencer when we brought up the idea of changing the name to Trump County. Want to know what the process is? Curious? Well, I'll replay the interview from yesterday, just a couple of minutes, so you get the idea of how this is going to work. Number one, I hope that everybody understands that I want to stop cancel culture from changing our names, changing statues, changing anything and everything that they decide that has to be changed without your input, without my input. I have no problem leaving Lee County the way it is. You don't have any problem leaving Lee County the way it is. The people that are looking to change the name to Colusa County, what's their motivation? Oh, and by the way, do you want to get into the Colusa Indians? Are we going to start going into their past? Are we going to start to look to see what the Colusa Indians and their history looks like? Is there any evidence that the Colusa Indians may have had some questionable issues in their past with the way they treated individuals? I'm not saying that's the case, but I am saying that if you want to go there, you can start to examine every single aspect of everyone that wants to cancel a culture and say, no, we can't do that. Do you know the history of the Colusa Indians? Hold on a second. Wait a minute. I don't want to change this name because do you understand and this doesn't stop. The cancel culture won't stop until you decide to make it stop. Until you push back and say, wait, a small minority of individuals do not get to tell everybody else what to do because they're the loudest. The anarchists that are in Portland don't get to decide what happens in the country because they don't want to go away and decide that they're going to destroy buildings. And a couple of knucklehead politicians like mayors and governors of states don't want to stop them. So, and I'm being polite when I say knucklehead. And so we're just supposed to say, oh, no big deal. As a matter of fact, the president looks and say, if people die and if there's a destruction of federal property and life is could be difficult. There may be some danger to actually being out on the street. It's not our deal. Hey, everybody can just settle down. It's not happening in your town. Why should you care? Do you see? It's not happening in your town. Why should you care? Because eventually it comes to your door. Eventually it's coming to your town. This cancel culture is already here to a degree. And you don't have a say in this? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, we all do. Wondering what the process is, how this would work. Spencer Roach was on with us yesterday and we had that discussion. And how do you do it? How do you change the name of the county? If you're going to change the name of the county from Lee County to Trump County, how do you do it?
Yeah, Drew, so let me outline this for your listeners real quick. So this would be a local bill, and what that means simply is that this is a bill that would not have a statewide impact or implication. So this would be a local bill, and we would need the support of the entire legislative delegation in Lee County for this to be successful. And historically, the House leadership and other members of the legislature are very deferential to local bills that have unanimous support from the delegation. What that means here in Lee County is we would need all four of our House members and our state senator representing this area to agree to support this local bill. And then this is a real possibility. We could do this. And this is a good question for folks to ask the candidates who are running. And every seat is up for grabs right now if they would support this idea. So the first step in doing this is waiting until after the November election to see who in fact is representing Lee County in the Florida House and Florida Senate, and then see if we can get their support at the delegation meeting to bring this to the legislature as a local bill.
There you go. So you'd bring it to the legislature as a local bill, and you'd have the representatives that are soon going to be in. There's going to be a change with Lee County representation here in the state this election cycle. So once they are elected, maybe ask them, what do you think about the idea of Trump County? And understanding what we're doing here. Understanding what we're doing. Where like John in LA is like, all right, I'm for it. Let's do it. Trump County, 45th president of the United States. It's presided over the greatest economy we have seen. and all the great things the president has been able to accomplish, but understanding the bottom line, which is the cancel culture is not coming to our door. As long as I'm around, I would like to believe that. They're here, and eventually they will have a say. And I'm just telling you, you may, how do I say this the right way? Oh, I'll just say it. I don't, right way, wrong way, who cares? There are certain people that are here in this town in Southwest Florida who are in office right now and who are going to be running for different offices, whether it's a state level, whether it's school boards, whether it's people that are running for Congress, that will have no problem telling you that they're Republicans. Because they know, just like everybody else knows, that we are a pretty heavy Republican district. We're a heavy Republican area. So they'll say and make it seem like they are who you want them to be. But they're not. They're not. Not only are they not Republicans, put the party aside, they're not conservatives. They don't share your values. They use the Republican Party to be able to get into positions to make changes around this area, knowing full well that it's the only way that they can get elected, because if you knew that they were Democrats, if you knew that they were liberals, if you knew that they despised the president of the United States, that they hated everything about him, then you would understand that those same people could in no way, shape, or form have your values. And then you have to ask yourself, well, who are these individuals that are running for office in my town? And you have to ask yourself, if they hate the president, if they despise the person, do they despise the policies? You bet they do. And that means they are on the side of Democrats, Joe Biden, and other liberals who want to do the things that fundamentally you do not want to see happen in this town. You do not want to see defunding and dismantling of police departments and getting creative. Let's just throw some test ideas out there to see whether or not this sticks when it comes to the safety and security of our citizens. You're not backing people like George Soros and George Soros funded prosecutors like in St. Louis who have decided to take evidence and manipulate it so that they can go after someone who is displaying and using their rights, their constitutional God-given Second Amendment rights to protect their property. These individuals do not feel the same way that you do. And yet they're able to get into positions of power in this town, in this county, in this city, in Southwest Florida, because you're not allowed to ask them, because they're nonpartisan races. Have you ever taken a moment to actually explore and find out who are the people that are running? Who are the people that are sitting in city council, on the commission seats, people that are on your school boards? Have you ever looked to see who they like and do not like, who they shout loudly and proudly against? Possibly the president of the United States, and why they would do that and why they would have that kind of hatred? Is it just the man, or is it the policies? You don't get to ask. You don't get to ask because you're not allowed to, because these are nonpartisan races. How could a Lee County School Board be a partisan race? How could that possibly be? Don't you care about kids? I do. And I care about the country. And I also care about the things that you might vote for that would be detrimental to my child getting a good education. How do you feel about school choice? I homeschool. I love the idea of homeschooling. I love the idea of being able to do whatever I want when it comes to me, my family, and my child. How do you feel about that? The public school system the only place that a child can be educated? Charter schools, private schools, what do you think? Because I'm pretty sure that if you're a liberal, you believe that the public school system is the end-all be-all. And I'm pretty sure if you are a conservative, you believe in school choice and you believe in the ability to say, I'm going to homeschool or I'm going to do any of these other things, and it's just as good, or in some cases better, than the public school system. That's an outrage, is it? Is that how you feel? Because I'm telling you, the party that you claim to be a part of believes what I believe. But I don't think you are who you say you are. And I would question each and every person that you feel like you want to give your support to, your tax dollars to, and your children over to, that you would be more than willing and happy to step up to them and say, hey, I got a couple of questions. And not let them say, oh, you can't ask me political questions. Sorry about no, I can. And if I can't ask you, then I'm going to explore and I'm going to try to find out more about you and see where you've been and what you're all about. Sorry, I got off on a completely different tangent here and not what I was going to go, as I really wanted to play some of the audio from the president. Yes, I just get, and forgive me, and we're going to have to take a break, Jake. Let's do that right now. Forgive me, but I get passionate about this, especially here in Southwest Florida. When you've lived here for 35 years and you care as much as I do about this town, this area in Southwest Florida, and you see the kind of fundamental change and dangerous language and the words and vitriol that's coming out of the Democrat Party and what they want to do. And then to imagine that there are people that are trying to hide behind, I'm a Republican, knowing full well that it's the only way that a Democrat would even be able to step foot into an office in a lot of ways here in Southwest Florida, because we don't believe in your values. And now more than ever, we don't believe in your values, that I get upset that we're not allowed to ask questions and we're not allowed to dig into your past and we're not allowed to hear more about why you hate the president so much. Or really about your conservative bona fides. Tell me what it means. I want to know. And I don't. All right, enough of me. More of Sabrina Katz, because we need traffic.
Southbound delays on Livingston to Golden Gate Parkway. If you want a faster option, stick to airport pooling. Also, a very slight slowdown beginning on Santa Barbara heading south to Davis. We look great, though, on the East Trail between Davis to Rattlesnake Hammock. Also, up to speed on 951 south of the East Trail to Marco. The trip to the minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Expect mostly cloudy skies, breezy conditions today, and off and on scattered showers and storms. Temperatures upper 80s to lower 90s. We'll be back in a more typical summer-like pattern by Friday and all the way into the weekend. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Rush Limbaugh. Last week, Speaker Nancy Pelosi continued her pander campaign to show solidarity with rioters vandalizing statues in blue cities throughout America. She called for all Confederate statues to be removed from the Capitol grounds. Now, California Democrat Barbara Lee teamed up with Mississippi Democrat Bernie Thompson on a House bill to banish the relics of the Confederacy back to their original states within 120 days. New Jersey Democrat Cory Spartacus Booker introduced a Senate bill seeking to do the same thing. Now, these Democrats are trying to erase the history of their own party. The Confederate statues come from states then controlled by Democrats. It's the Democrat Party that gave America the Confederacy, the KKK, state-sponsored segregation, and Jim Crow. But one of these Confederate statues should get a new home up north. Now standing in Statuary Hall is the likeness of Uriah Milton Rose, a lawyer who was fiercely loyal to the Confederacy. In 1865 in Little Rock, Arkansas, Uriah Rose founded the Rose Law Firm. Many Clinton administration notables worked there at the Rose Law Firm, including Hillary herself. Now, instead of sending old Uriah to collect dust in some warehouse, his white stone statue ought to be sent to the Clinton's estate in Chappaqua and sit dead center right there on the front lawn as a constant reminder of Democrat history. My friends, we're all living through tough times in our nation, but my good friends at Mahindra have shared with me that their customers are finding comfort in working their land. Mahindra owners are also using their tractors to help family members and to help out their neighbors. And your Mahindra dealers are there for you too, right in your community. If you need a tractor to work through these tough times, visit whymahindra.com. Just build your own tractor, and your local Mahindra dealer will give you a custom quote. I mean, they'll even deliver directly to your property. Right now, during Mahindra's summer sales event, you'll also get special savings on Mahindra, the official tractor of tough. So visit whymahindra.com now and bless all of us as we get through these tough times together.
Are you a successful small business owner, perhaps with experience in automotive, ag, or outdoor equipment? Visit joinmahindra.com to become a part of the Mahindra dealer family. That's joinmahindra.com.
Tougher than plastic, harder than wood. Nothing beats the power of steel. Drew Steele, weekday mornings at 6 on 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. I have my friend TJ Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples, on the phone. And the selection, of course, at Floor Meisters is amazing. The Core-Tech that I have now in my home. TJ, I got to tell you, it is unbelievable. My wife over the moon. It's like, it's perfect. Even down to the installation, everything was amazing, TJ.
Well, I'm glad your wife is very happy with it.
So am I.
It's softer, it's quieter, it's beautiful, real look of wood, everything your wife wanted, and you got it all taken care of for her.
And so talk about the selection that you have.
Right now we have 90 colors of Core-Tech in stock, ready to go pick up, put down as soon as you want it. Everything starting at $299 on up with lifetime warranty.
You have to love Core-Tech. You've got to love TJ and Dave Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters. If you haven't been there, go there today. 6281 Naples Boulevard next to Costco. Now, whether it's carpet, tile, laminate, or hardwood flooring, they have it all. So give them a call, 239-596-4964, or on the web at floormeisters.com.
Today's radicalized Democrat Party is attempting to dismantle, disarm, and discredit our frontline heroes. We must fight to stop them before it's too late. But to do that, we cannot send more weak leaders to Washington. It takes a bold, unapologetic conservative to stand up to the liberal mob and protect the institutions that make America great. We can't give in, and we can't give up. I'm Dr. William Figglestaller, and I approve this message because I'm the America First conservative you can trust.
Paid for by William Figglestaller, Republican, House District 19.
You know the problem in Washington? Too many politicians are full of should. They should keep promises, should serve the people, should avoid corruption. But when it's time to deliver, it's just a load of should. Then along comes Donald J. Trump, and the D.C. insiders, they lose their should. Byron Donalds is a lot like Trump that way. Donalds is willing to shake things up. You could take Trump's word for it.
I want to thank Representative Donalds. He's got a tremendous future ahead of him.
Now Byron Donalds is running for Congress. Donalds fought for low taxes in Tallahassee. He'll keep fighting to protect your paycheck in Congress. Donalds backs term limits. And Donalds stands with Trump to defend our police. Conservative Republican Byron Donalds for Congress. He'll make a difference in Washington. No should. Paid for by Club for Growth Action. Clubforgrowthaction.org and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and yes, Ryan Hammond Painting and Contracting. I love these guys. I love the company. I can tell you personally, I've used them multiple times over 7 or 8 years. A company that's been in Southwest Florida since 2001. The great staff, the way they communicate, every idea that my wife had that she wanted to do with regard to painting and contracting, boom, just like that, they were on it. So what can they handle? How about anything to do with restoration or repair, coatings? Like the coating in my garage is amazing. They do over 700 clients annually. You don't have to take my word for it. They're one of the highest reviewed contractors for what they do, maintaining 4.9 to 5 stars, and I can see why. So you're thinking about a repaint, you're thinking about your garage floor, you're thinking about some remodeling. I'm telling you, Ryan Hammond Painting and Contracting. So give them a call today, 239-872-2559. That's 239-872-2559. See the experience that I have had with Ryan Hammond Painting and Contracting, and you will say it as well. They are the best.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
This is Therese O'Shea with Wink News. A 9-year-old girl has died from COVID-19 in Florida. The Florida Department of Health says she's from Putnam County. It says she had unknown contact with someone with COVID-19 and it was not travel-related. This marks the youngest coronavirus death in our state. Just hours from now, Lee County Schools will hold an emergency meeting. They'll discuss a start date for the school year. This comes as Collier and Charlotte counties push back their start dates. Trust Wink News to be at that meeting. This morning, employees at one local hospital will push back against what they say are unsafe work conditions. There's a planned protest at Fawcett Memorial Hospital in Port Charlotte at 8 a.m. Nurses who work there say there are dangerously low levels of staffing. Just hours from now, you can donate blood and get an antibody test. There's a big need for blood right now. You can donate today at D. Gates Insurance Group along Del Prado Boulevard in Cape Coral. That's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Masks are now required in Collier County, but one business says it will not be following that order. At Seed to Table, owner Alfie Oakes says he will not crack down on requiring face coverings. Despite his stance, the grocery store is still experiencing a heavy flow of traffic. While some agree with Oakes' decision, others are unhappy with the lack of safety precautions. Florida breweries are really struggling during the pandemic. Up to 100 across the state could be forced to close for good if reopening rollbacks continue. We told you last week the Fort Myers Brewing Company ran out of federal loans it used to stay afloat. The owner says they're now using savings they plan to use for an expansion. I'm Therese O'Shea, Wink News now.
Wink News traffic.
Southbound delays on Livingston to Golden Gate Parkway. If you want a faster option, stick to airport pooling. Also, a very slight slowdown beginning on Santa Barbara heading south to Davis. We look great, though, on the East Trail between Davis to Rattlesnake Hammock. Also, up to speed on 951 south of the East Trail to Marco. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Again, expect scattered showers and storms off and on throughout most of the day. Mostly cloudy skies and breezy conditions here throughout the afternoon. High temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s, but we're back in our typical summer-like pattern Friday and all the way into the weekend. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Plug into the power. 92.5 Fox News.
Right. All along. Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Get a 2020 GMC Yukon Denali with only 8,000 miles, like new, but for thousands less. Or a 2008 Kia Sorento SUV with only 43,000 miles for just $6,500. With over 300 vehicles, visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
True relief for back and neck pain. At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, if you're suffering with a spinal-related problem, pain, numbness, or weakness, through the use of spinal decompression therapy, we've helped hundreds and hundreds of local residents return to a pain-free, productive life. People who once suffered from stenosis, sciatica, bulging, or herniated discs and thought there was no solution are now living pain-free. Spinal decompression is relaxing and painless, while it gently eases pressure off painful nerves and spinal discs. No pain, no needles, and no surgery. I've successfully been using spinal decompression in Southwest Florida for over 13 years, and the results are only getting better. Take your life back. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for a free telephone consultation to find out how spinal decompression can help you. Johnston Spinal Care, 596 Back. 596-2225. That's 596-2225.
Today, businesses are starting to bounce back, but what if you could do better than that? What if you could adapt and find new ways to succeed? With new customers? Well, Comcast Business wants to help you do just that. Learn how you can not just bounce back, but bounce forward at ComcastBusiness.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Summer is in full swing, and my friends Jason and Todd with the Diamond District are continuing to liquidate the largest selection of GIA and Forever Mark loose certified diamonds, engagement rings, and fashionable diamond jewelry.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No. Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. If you want to watch, streaming live on YouTube, just go to Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. We appreciate the fact that you would watch this program, and it's free to subscribe, but it helps to keep us going. Maybe you're watching on Facebook as well at 925 Fox News. Wherever you are, wherever you're listening or watching, we are sincerely grateful and humbled that you would choose this program to start your day each and every day. Thank you so much. Okay. A lot I want to get to. I hope I can get into everything without just chasing squirrels. I don't want to do that, and I don't want to go off on different tangents, but sometimes I just can't help it because there's a lot in this graying skull up here. I'm looking at some of the texts that are coming in on the text line, and earlier Rick and Fort Myers said, Drew, everything that's going on will continue to go on, and the reason why is because Republicans, the patriots of this country, continue to idly sit by and do nothing. This is how we keep losing. We just think there's something or somebody in Washington that'll stand up for us, but there's no one. Unless we start playing the game the same way they are, we're going to continue to lose. And to a degree, Rick is exactly right. We need people that are willing to fight, that are willing to push against Republicans, for example. Just because somebody has an R in front of their name or behind their name doesn't mean that they are on your side. They won't fight. The difference between a leftist Democrat, a socialist, and someone who is a conservative, and I didn't say Republican, I said conservative, is that liberals, socialists, Democrats, number one, will continue to knock, push until they get what they want, even if they are not even the majority in the place where they live. That's why I keep bringing up, and I'm hoping that everybody is understand what we're doing here. When I say that I want to change Lee County to Trump County, it's because I want to get ahead of the cancel culture that's coming into this town. You do get that, right? You all understand this? That this push for us to go to a change.org site and sign petitions and to say, look, there are people, individuals in this town who not only are agreeing with what I'm saying and want to change the name of Lee County to Trump County, that they would back this idea, but they also understand what is happening, that there are people who don't have a problem with Lee County, that have never had a problem with the name Lee County. But there are individuals, a minority of individuals, that are telling the majority what to do all across the country. The loudest voices are the ones that are changing everything we know and see, everything. And so I don't want that to happen in this town. And I would say, let's get ahead of it. Let's just put it to rest. We'll call it Trump County and call it a day. Thank you very much. We're the ones that are canceling out you, the cancel culture. We're not going to let you decide what the name will be once you pressure enough weak Republicans, because they're not really, well, they're Republicans, but it doesn't mean that they're conservatives and have the same values that we have. And even if they are, they're soft, like Rick is talking about. But to be able to stand up and go, stop, just stop it. We're not doing it in this town. You're not going to get support. And when you start to see people being doxxed, when you start to see stories, for example, out of, where was it? Was it California? No, yeah, it was Oakland. We come to find out that there was a big defund the police movement, which is not a defund the police movement like, oh, we're just going to give them a little less money because they get paid too much. No, it's about taking away the funds that that are needed for them to be able to do the job that they need to do to keep you safe. We come to find out that the Oakland mayor cast the deciding vote on whether or not they were going to defund to begin the process of dismantling the police department in Oakland. coincidentally casts the vote for it on the same day. Like, seriously, the day after protesters, the mobs, you know, the loudest voices in the room, vandalized her house. They vandalized her house as a message. And what did she do? Well, you know what she did. I don't want to see that, and I know you don't want to see that. And I know a majority of people do not want to see that. Both Democrat and Republicans, there are a majority of people that do not want to see it. But sometimes, somehow, some way, at the end of the day, you do have to look at the evidence. Even you in the media, even locally in the media, even you have to look at the evidence and say to yourself, is it true? I mean, does the party of the left, the Democrats, do they really want to keep our cities safe? Do they believe in policies that will harm communities in a lot of different ways? That will harm, policies that would harm those that are the most vulnerable. You know, when you talk about school districts and not wanting to get back to school yet because we're not prepared, we don't know what's happening with the virus, we don't have all the evidence, and we need to see what plays out. And of course, the evidence would say quite the opposite, that it is okay to go to school. And I'm going to give you the examples, but nobody wants to hear that because it's all about the feels, and we have to have that kind of emotion because there are some loud voices that are screaming and saying, I can't send my kid to school. I just can't do it. I'm fearful. Well, let me explain that you have nothing to fear because we're going to take all the precautions that are needed. Plus, the evidence would show that they're not spreading the way you think that maybe some are suggesting. And I'm going to get to that in a second. And if you have that kind of fear, then we will give you a different solution so that we can make sure that your child is getting the education that they need. And ask yourself, what communities suffer? What communities suffer when they cannot physically go to a building and learn? Not everybody has a laptop, everybody. Not everybody has the kind of access that you have. When it comes to internet, when it comes to time, when it comes to the ability to be there while your child is learning at home, and that they have to go to work. And there are all different kinds of variables here. But they can be overcome if you come together and realize that not everybody, there's not one solution that fits all, that we can accommodate everybody. And as long as you've done a good job of being stewards of our tax dollars, then you should be set up in a position, along with the help from state and state, local, federal government, if you need it, in case, not because you were bad stewards of the money, but because of the situation we're in, we can make those accommodations. And so, for example, the president had a great presser yesterday with the coronavirus task team. Calm, right there, hitting on all the topics that need to be discussed. The media coming after him, asking questions, getting down to the heart of the answers to these questions, not being confrontational, very presidential, very... It was really good.
Mr. President, I just want to ask you a question about the surge of federal agents to various cities. Yeah. The mayor of Chicago just said moments ago that you're doing this to divert attention from your failures on coronavirus. You are only targeting cities.
We haven't had that failure.
You are only targeting cities, though, run by Democrats. Is this just a political stunt?
Yeah, the cities, unfortunately, that are in trouble are all run by Democrats. You have radical left Democrats running cities like Chicago and so many others that we just had a news conference. And unfortunately, that's the way it is.
That's just the way it is. Is he wrong? You know he's not wrong. You know the narrative is out there to make it sound like that's all he is doing right now, is making this all about politics. But the facts speak for themselves. And again, I would ask you Democrats that are out there that are listening, and some that have come over from Wink News because they watched the segment of me talking about changing Lee County to Trump County, not fully understanding what that means. And we'll get into that more. But the facts are there, and they know it. And so understanding that journalists are activists makes it easier for you to understand why it's frustrating for the president to have any kind of press conference, or Kelly McEnany to have any kind of press conference, or to speak to the media at all, because they don't care about the facts and the truth. They care about their activism and destroying this presidency. If you don't like the way that sounds, if you think that's outrage, how do you say that? That's not true. Stop it. Stop it. You know it is. And we have tons of examples to show that. Your journalism, the way you think that you are and who you are and the journal, it is dead. It's dead. We want the truth. We want the facts. We want the data. We want to be able to make decisions about our families and our future based on that. The president had an example to bring that up. Talk about that yesterday. The media had an opportunity to bring that up. And as a matter of fact, when it comes to the virus and schools and getting back to school. And
the children who go to school, then go back to home, some live with their grandparents, sure. There's a real risk. Would you understand if some schools...
They do say that they don't transmit very easily, and a lot of people are saying they don't transmit, and we're looking at that. We're studying, John, very hard, that particular subject, that they don't bring it home with them. Now, they don't catch it easily, they don't bring it home easily, and if they do catch it, they get better fast. We're looking at that fact. That is a factor, and we're looking at that very strongly.
Okay, so they're looking at that strongly. So that was Jonathan Karl, one of the journalists, asking the president about, is it really time? Is it safe to go back to school? And the concerns about kids going and getting the virus and then going back to their home and bringing it back to like elderly parents or elderly grandparents and the dangers that are there. So the first answer to that is, if you have that fear and that is your situation, is it based on fact and data and science? And if it is, then where is it? And the second thing is that if you are concerned, then let's find another accommodation for you so that your child can be educated and continue to have their education and not be held back for any reason. We can make accommodations. There's not this one size fits all or one size or one way to do things, and that's the only way to do things. The president said there's no evidence. As a matter of fact, the evidence is to the contrary, that school children don't spread coronavirus, that what the media has been saying, the activists have been saying is not based in fact. And as a matter of fact, you have CNN Politics right here. Fact check. President Trump falsely suggests kids don't transmit the coronavirus and that the surge of cases in the U.S. is due in part to protests and Mexican migration. Well, let me stop the second part for a second and go to the first part. CNN fact-checking, kids don't transmit the coronavirus. Okay. What was the president talking about? Does he have any evidence? Well, I'm looking at it right here in Bloomberg. Prognosis. School children don't spread coronavirus. French study shows that took place on June 23rd. Scientists studied 1,340 people in a town in northeast Paris, suffered an outbreak in February and March, including 510 students from 6 primary schools. They found 3 probable cases among kids that didn't lead to more infections among other pupils or teachers. The study confirms that children appear to show fewer telltale symptoms than adults and be less contagious, providing a justification for school reopenings in countries from Denmark to Switzerland. The researchers found that 61% of the parents of infected kids had the coronavirus, compared with about 7% of parents of healthy ones, suggesting it was the parents who had infected their offspring rather than the other way around. What's the point here? You want all the information, you want all the data, all the science, and all the facts so that you can make sure that the fear and the panic doesn't get to 11 if it doesn't need to be there. And it doesn't. And that decisions about going back to school need to be made on science and data and not the feels of people who maybe have a different agenda. And it's not a beneficial one to the president. Now, having said that, let me say this quickly as well. I get it. I understand. There's not one single person that's listening to the sound of my voice, I believe, I hope, and anyone in this household who doesn't understand that people, parents, kids would be apprehensive, that they're concerned. How could you not be? You're fed panic 24/7. But let's make sure that we see the evidence, see the data that would show reasons to not be panicked and then communicate that as opposed to the opposite. And it is hard. There's no doubt about it. Let's make that clear. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, streaming live on YouTube, Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. And don't forget to go to our change.org petition page by simply going to facebook.com/925 Fox News or to 925foxnews.com. And even texting the word Trump right now to 239-479-5592. All of those 3 different ways and places will take you to our change.org page. You want to change, cancel culture wants to come in. They want to change the name of Lee County because they're Robert E. Lee, and we got to do something. And the minority of voices, this small group that's going to tell the majority what to do. No, we cancel you. We'll make this decision. We'll change the name of Lee County to Trump County. How about it? All right. Let's find out what's happening with traffic up to the minute. Here's Sabrina Katz.
The crash on 75 southbound continues to slow traffic. We're at a standstill heading south of Daniel. So that's 3 miles of standstill traffic all the way past Alico. US 41 is definitely your fastest option to avoid these slowdowns. Also, a crash at Trail Dairy Circle and North Tamiami Trail in North Fort Myers is slowing traffic northbound on 41 starting from around Del Prado. A crash at Buckingham Road and State Road 82 slowing traffic east and west on 82 between Buckingham Road and Colonial. Definitely an area to avoid. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Expect mostly cloudy skies, breezy conditions today, and off and on scattered showers and storms. Temperatures upper 80s to lower 90s. We'll be back in a more typical summer-like pattern by Friday and all the way into the weekend. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Blah, 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 blah. Gear up for the liberal loudmouths at work. Drew Steele, mornings on 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. My friends at Zero Res Carpet and Tile Cleaning want to let you know, look, your safety and your family's safety is their top priority. In the light of the current health and safety concerns, Zero Res wants to let you know about some of the procedures and preventative measures for added protection. Practicing safe social distancing while in your home. You can even leave or stay in another room and they can communicate with you by phone. How cool is that? Cleaning and disinfecting all equipment with EPA-registered disinfectants between each job. The techs are wearing gloves and booties. They're supplementing the supply of products that are EPA approved to clean and disinfect hard surfaces, and as an added preventive measure, and no additional fee, they're going to treat doorknobs with the EPA-approved hospital-grade disinfecting products. Look, the top priority is to create peace of mind by providing people with healthy, safe, clean home and work environments, and they're going to continue to do just that through this difficult time. Give them a call at 239-932-9376. That's 239-932-9376, or online at ZeroResSWFL.com. Spell it backwards or forwards, it still spells the same. ZEROREZ.
The team at Best Home Services understands that this is a time of much uncertainty and much unknown. With this uncertainty comes feelings of fear and panic. Please know that we are here for you today, tomorrow, and into the future as we move forward together, safely and comfortably. We are all in this together, and as stewards of our community, we promise to continue to provide you the services needed to keep you and your family safe. You are not alone. Best Home Services, our family protecting your family.
Majority Leader of the Florida House, Dane Eagle.
I'm Dane Eagle. I'm running for Congress because experience matters. We need proven conservatives fighting for us in Washington. As the Republican Majority Leader of the Florida House, I have proven myself as a trusted conservative. I cut over $10 billion in taxes while balancing Florida's budget. And I've tackled immigration. I fought beside Governor DeSantis to ban sanctuary cities and pass E-Verify. I'm Dane Eagle, and I approve this message because we cannot afford to take another chance on inexperienced, unproven candidates based on campaign ads. That has failed us in the past, and it will fail us again. When I say I'll do something, it's not an empty promise. It's something I've already proven I can and will do. I'm Dane Eagle, and I have the experience to bring back our economy, fight illegal immigration, and keep America great. Send me to Congress. I will stand with President Trump, and I will fight for America. That's a promise, not an ad.
Thank you, Dane.
Paid for by Dane Eagle for Congress.
Attention commercial building owners. The Flying Locksmiths of Southwest Florida are now open, specializing in automatic doors, access controls, and CCTV cameras. Visit them online at flyinglocksmiths.com. If it's on the door, we handle it.
For over 20 years, the Good Feet store has been helping people with foot pain get back to doing what they love without their feet getting in the way. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers.
Hey guys, this is Larry King. Are you sick and tired of prostate pills that don't work? I've got great news for you. I had prostate problems that were driving me nuts. I tried several different natural products. None of them worked. One day I heard about Prostagenics. It beat over 157 other prostate supplements in independent lab tests and was rated #1 most powerful prostate supplement in the world. So I got some Prostagenics, and boy, am I glad I did. Now my prostate troubles are a thing of the past. I sleep like a champ. I feel like I did 20 years ago. Do yourself a huge favor. Do what I did and get yourself some Prostagenics.
Prostagenics comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee, so you can order absolutely risk-free. So go online or call 800-600-2020. 800-600-2020. If you call in the next 6 minutes, you can get a free bottle with a Larry King TV special. 800-600-2020.
Pick up the phone right now.
Tee off and swing into summer at Coral Oaks Golf Course in Cape Coral. Come out and enjoy our excellent playing surfaces, beautiful natural surroundings, GPS golf carts, and low summer rates. Play 18 holes every day for just $35 before noon, $30 after noon, and $25 after 2 p.m. all summer long. You can book tee times up to 7 days in advance at coraloaksgolf.com. We'll see you at Coral Oaks, where every day is a great day.
If you're far from water, you might think a flood can't happen to you. But the truth is, there are hidden risks that can leave your property vulnerable, like runoff from new development, changing weather patterns, and even wildfires. But if you have flood insurance, you have peace of mind, knowing that you can recover faster. Protect the life you've built. Visit floodsmart.gov/storm to learn more. Brought to you by FEMA and its National Flood Insurance Program.
Conservative businessman Kevin Ruane knows what it takes to balance a budget, create jobs, and grow an economy, and has the record to prove it. As mayor of Sanibel, Kevin Ruane put his conservative principles and business experience to work. He cut taxes more than 26% while slashing debt and rebuilding the rainy day fund. He'll do the same thing as our Lee County Commissioner. Kevin Ruane knows that to get our economy back on its feet, we need to keep our businesses open, and he'll fight to do so. And he believes in individual liberties and personal responsibility. That's why he fought against government mandates forcing you to wear a face mask. Kevin Ruane knows our water quality is directly linked to our economy. He's worked with Washington and Tallahassee to get the funding needed to reduce Lake Okeechobee discharges. He's proven himself as the clear choice to get results to restore our local waterways. Let's put Kevin Ruane to work for us to create jobs and fix our water quality. Paid by Kevin Ruane, Republican for Lee County Commissioner, District 1.
Businesses are starting to bounce back. But what if you could do better than that? What if you could adapt, deliver, and succeed in new ways with new customers? At Comcast Business, we're committed to helping you not just bounce back, but bounce forward. That's why we're offering powerful and reliable internet and voice, now for only $35 each a month when you buy both and sign up for EcoBill and AutoPay with a 2-year agreement. It'll help you stay ahead with a network you can count on. Stay connected with 24/7 support and thrive with flexible solutions that work wherever you are. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go online today to find out more. Comcast Business. Offer ends 8/21/2020. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 35 megabits internet and 1 voice mobility line. Early termination fee applies. Enrollment in EcoBill and AutoPay required. Equipment installation taxes and fees extra, subject to change.
This Wink News Update is presented by Stadium Dry Cleaners. Online at stadiumdrycleaners.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
This is Therese O'Shea with Wink News. A 9-year-old girl has died from COVID-19 in Florida. The Florida Department of Health says she's from Putnam County. It says she had unknown contact with someone with COVID-19 and it was not travel-related. This marks the youngest coronavirus death in our state. Just hours from now, Lee County Schools will hold an emergency meeting. They'll discuss a start date for the school year. This comes as Collier and Charlotte counties push back their start dates. Trust Wink News to be at that meeting. This morning, employees at one local hospital will push back against what they say are unsafe work conditions. There's a planned protest at Fawcett Memorial Hospital in Port Charlotte at 8 a.m. Nurses who work there say there are dangerously low levels of staffing. Just hours from now, you can donate blood and get an antibody test. There's a big need for blood right now. You can donate today at D. Gates Insurance Group along Del Prado Boulevard in Cape Coral. That's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Masks are now required in Collier County, but one business says it will not be following that order. At Seed to Table, owner Alfie Oakes says he will not crack down on requiring face coverings. Despite his stance, the grocery store is still experiencing a heavy flow of traffic. While some agree with Oakes' decision, others are unhappy with the lack of safety precautions. Florida breweries are really struggling during the pandemic. Up to 100 across the state could be forced to close for good if reopening rollbacks continue. We told you last week the Fort Myers Brewing Company ran out of federal loans it used to stay afloat. The owner says they're now using savings they plan to use for an expansion. I'm Therese O'Shea, Wink News now.
Wink News traffic.
The crash on 75 southbound continues to slow traffic. We're at a standstill heading south of Daniel, so that's 3 miles of standstill traffic all the way past Alico. US 41 is definitely your fastest option to avoid these slowdowns. Also, a crash at Trail Dairy Circle and North Tamiami Trail in North Fort Myers is slowing traffic northbound on 41 starting from around Del Prado. A crash at Buckingham Road and State Road 82 slowing traffic east and west on 82 between Buckingham Road and Colonial. Definitely an area to avoid. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Again, expect scattered showers and storms off and on throughout most of the day, mostly cloudy skies and breezy conditions here throughout the afternoon. High temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s, but we're back in our typical summer-like pattern Friday and all the way into the weekend. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Drive the lefties at work crazy with the facts. Get up to speed mornings with Drew Steve, 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
I want to talk about Stadium Dry Cleaners, my good friends. They are great people there. I've been going to Stadium Dry Cleaners, I'm telling you, for as long as I can remember. And you may know Larry Rose. Now, Larry is an experienced SEC and NFL referee. Well, I know Larry has a fantastic dry cleaner and a great businessman. Look, you're going to love Stadium Dry Cleaners. They have discounts for our first responders and seniors. They have multiple locations near Publix at Daniels Crossing in Fort Myers, the Gateway Trade Center in Fort Myers, and the Elegant Image Dry Cleaners next to Walgreens on Del Prado in Cape Coral. They are Lee County's leading dry cleaner since 1988. With 30 years of experience in Lee County, I'm telling you, I trust my family's dry cleaning to Larry and the team at Stadium Dry Cleaners. So will you visit them? Visit stadiumdrycleaners.com and look for their monthly specials for great savings.
Gotta go to Galliana. Summer clearance event going on now at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Lowest prices ever on over 1,500 new and certified pre-owned vehicles. All new Jeep Gladiator lease, $259 per month. Loaded luxurious Grand Cherokee Limited lease, $279 per month. New Ram Bighorn Crew Cab lease, just $299 per month. That's right, award-winning Ram trucks, $299 per month. Plus at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, you can drive payment-free for 3 months, interest-free for 6 years, and worry-free up to 100,000 miles. Plus, our parts service and body shop are open to serve you. Summer clearance event featuring Ram Bighorn Crew Cabs for $299 per month at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com. 42-month leases, 10,000 miles per year, $32.94 due at signing plus tax, tag, title, 0 security deposit, $13.88 per month per thousand borrowed for 72 months at 0% APR with 0 down with lender approval. Offers don't combine.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. That is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. Streaming live on YouTube anytime you want to watch. You just go to YouTube, you type in Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's, and you'll get to watch the program. You'll get alerted as well as long as you subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe. It does help to keep this going, so if you enjoy that, you're able to watch on YouTube or Facebook, please subscribe. We do appreciate it. Also, want to remind everybody that This is important as well to go to our change.org petition. Listen, the cancel culture, we already see what's happening. We see it in Major League Sports and the renaming of the Washington Redskins. We see it in the renaming of military bases. We see all of the things that are happening where the cancel culture comes along and wants to cancel us. And we say, no, we're going to cancel you. And now we come to find out, of course, that there's a possibility that they could be knocking at our door as we speak. Robert E. Lee County, where many of us live right here in Southwest Florida. We know about the bus downtown in Fort Myers that was taken down by Sons of Confederacy over the concerns way back a few months ago, and the concerns about the bus there and taking that down for its security. And then, of course, we have Robert E. Lee that there are paintings in government buildings downtown, and sooner or later that cancel culture is coming to Southwest Florida, and they want to change the name of Lee County. And we say, no. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's change the name of Lee County now to Trump County. That's what I said, and that's what we're doing. So if you want to find out more and how you can sign the change.org petition, and we're going to talk in the coming weeks about the process and how we would do this, and if you want to be part of it, we would love to have you sign that change.org petition. Just text the word Trump to 239-479-5592 right now, and we'll send you a link so you can do that. All right, there are some things that are going on with the president that we want to talk about, including some important issues that were brought up yesterday, and federal agents in cities that are plagued by violence. Maybe you have a question as to who's running these cities and what the president exactly is talking about and how important this truly is. And so I'm so happy to be joined right now by Katrina Pearson, of course, senior advisor with the Trump 2020 campaign on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Katrina, it's Drew Steele. How are you today?
Hi, Drew. Good morning. We're doing great out here in New England with the Women for Trump bus tour.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well, that sounds fantastic. You know, there's so much going on now that I wanted to talk to you about, and I'm so glad to have you on. The president, by the way, yesterday, the coronavirus task team press conference and some of the other things that he has been doing. I cannot tell you how awesome it is to hear the president, laying out the facts, giving people science and data and what is truly happening with regards not only to fighting the virus and what we were able to accomplish here in the country, but also about what is going on in these major cities, calling them out, understanding who it is that's doing some of the things and allowing some of the things to take place in places like Portland and other areas of the country. And so talk a little bit about what the president talked about with this, the authorization of this surge of federal agents into these cities that have been plagued by violence.
Yeah, this has been a topic that I think, I don't think the left realized just how important it was going to be. Having President Trump in office, a president who had campaigned from the beginning of representing all people. And guess what? That just happened to include disenfranchised people trapped in Democrat districts. And so what we've been seeing unfold in the last couple of days, and I'll tell you, you mentioned the coronavirus, which is quite fascinating for the party that puts everything on the science is suddenly no longer interested in the science.
Right.
But now they're also no longer interested in taking responsibility for their own cities. So this operation that the president discussed has now been extended to other cities outside of Minneapolis. Here's the thing. Yeah. These Democrat-controlled districts, and we're talking for decades, not an election cycle, not a couple of terms, decades, in some cases 50 years. And Black Americans have been complaining about these issues, like the one that sparked all of the George Floyd protests, have been complaining about these issues for decades. Donald Trump's only been in office for barely one full term.
Yeah.
And he is the one that has been addressing the issues. And I got to tell you, I did an interview yesterday with someone who actually said to me, well, President Trump criticized President Obama for the violence in Chicago. And I said, well, rightly so. In this case, you had a Black man who was a Democrat who could have exerted influence in that area. Donald Trump's a Republican. I said, but let me tell you the difference here. Barack Obama had 8 years to address the issues of Black Americans and did nothing. President Trump has been addressing this issue since he's been in office, and it's only been one term. So that is the difference between President Trump and President Obama. President Trump is a man of the American people.
Yeah, Katrina, I think you were reading my mind because I was getting ready to ask you about that. It was even brought up in the coronavirus press conference yesterday where they said, well, you criticized Barack Obama for not doing anything in 2016. And no, so why is the criticism not equally on you for not doing anything? And I thought his answer was, as a matter of fact, let me just play this audio and then we can comment on this.
2016, you said it was President Obama's fault that homicides were up in Chicago. So why was it the president's fault then, but it's not your fault now?
Chicago is a disaster. The mayor is saying, don't come in. The mayor is telling us not to come in. At some point, we can void that if we have to, but we may have to at some, because it's out of control. I assume she's saying that for political reasons. I think it's negative political reasons. She's a Democrat. I'm going to be nice. She's a Democrat. She's making a big mistake. People are dying in Chicago and other cities, and we can solve the problem. They have to ask us, but we can solve the problem.
Why was it President Obama's fault in 2016? You credited it as
because
him.
President Obama was invited in, and he did a poor job. President Obama could have gone into Chicago. He could have solved the problem.
Yes, he could have. That is exactly right. To your point. The president is ready right now to do something. He understands what's happening with the violence and he wants to do something. And here you have these Democrats, and it's a fact, Katrina, you have these Democrats for what has to be political reasons who won't allow anybody to do anything to help these cities. It's outrageous, especially for the people in those cities who year after year and decade after decade, to your point, are never just ignored.
Well, it's not only outrageous, but it's also eye-opening, isn't it? Especially when you have the question being posed to President Trump, who's actually taking action on the issue. I mean, even if you take Chicago out completely and just look at what happened with George Floyd, President Trump was talking about implementing safe practices measures, incorporating mental health professionals within police departments back in October 2019. He signed an executive order this last January, 6 months before the incident with George Floyd. So President Trump was far ahead of the curve on these issues. And let's be honest, Barack Obama did nothing for Black America, and he had every opportunity to do something, and he chose to do nothing. Whereas now you have President Trump, who's actually delivering results already with many policies, whether it's historical Black colleges and universities or the First Step Act. He's actually improving the lives of Black America for generations to come, and he's still being criticized for wanting to do more.
Yeah. Katrina Pearson joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, senior advisor for the Trump 2020 campaign, as we talk a little bit about the president and really focusing right now on, quite honestly, Katrina, who it is that is talking about protecting the American people, the American citizens in cities that even, and let's be honest, in cities maybe filled with politically people that dislike him. And it doesn't matter. You look at human beings, you look at the situation, you look at what is going on in these cities, you want something done, you care about everybody, all American citizens. And which party it is and how it feels like each and every day you have activists. I'm not going to call them journalists. I call them activists that are out there making it sound as if like in places like Portland, you have peaceful protests that are taking place when there's video that's out there of even the mayor of the city who's trying to have discussions and walk the streets of this peaceful city where he's getting things thrown at him to the point where he has his own security around that has to kind of whisk him out of the way of all of these peaceful protests. I don't know. I haven't been around peaceful protests where I've got bottles thrown at me and rocks and other projectiles. I don't know. Have you?
No, I mean, it really depends on how you define peaceful these days. I mean, we are in strange times here.
Yep.
But I mean, you're absolutely right. We are seeing things where the media is telling us, don't believe what you see, believe what we say.
Right.
And I just don't think that most Americans are really wired that way, because when you turn on the TV, you see a much different picture than you're hearing the words coming out of the mouths. I mean, as you said, this happens on live television. So it's really hard to deny what you're seeing in the country. And just having said that, our opponent, Joe Biden, has really been silent on a lot of this anarchy, a lot of this chaos, a lot of, defunding police departments, for crying out loud. I, for one, can't even believe that is a discussion we are having nationally. The whole reason that people come to our country, risk their lives, leave everything that they have, is because they're looking for that element of safety, that place that you can go and build a future, where you can disagree with your government and not be beaten down for it. And it's just really mind-boggling to me and many others, and I'm sure many of your listeners, on how a lot of these things are even up for discussion today. But at the end of the day, come November, Americans will have a choice.
Yeah.
They can choose the country they know, they love, they respect, and a flag they admire, or they can choose to get rid of our country altogether, embrace anarchy, embrace chaos with a candidate who is neither here nor there mentally, and to be run by the radical left who is condoning everything that's happening today.
Yeah, I know. I just I see some of the numbers that are out there, and just before we go, I see self-censorship on the rise, a Cato Institute survey, and how there are individuals who don't even want to talk about their political views. I find it interesting that the one group that speaks the loudest, that the one that feels like they can express themselves the most, are the strong liberals. They're the ones, the 60% of which feel like they can say whatever they believe. And why are they the ones that feel like they can? Because they are protected by activists each and every day in the media that will allow them and have given them for far too long a bigger voice than they actually have, in my opinion. And especially when you look at the issue of police and defunding the police and dismantling, and some of the ridiculous ideas and notions that not too long ago, and I believe even right now, people look at it and say, I'm not voting for this. I can't back it. And I wonder if that's even something that you see is that when we talk about the silent majority and people look at that and they say, oh, those are just words. No, I really think that it's true. There are people that maybe don't want to say how they feel, but you're going to hear from them, and you're going to know that they're there, but it won't be verbally. It'll be with their vote.
Yeah, it'll be the exact same way it was in 2016 when people were concerned about sharing their political beliefs out loud. And I believe that the silent majority has grown and grown significantly just by the amount of Democrats who have seen us out. We're out here in New England. We're in a blue state of Maine today. And we've had so many people come up to us. And last night at an event, there were Democrats that came in and said, you know what? My uncle is a police officer, or my brother is a police officer. People cannot believe what is happening to their country. The silent majority has grown, and our mission is to get them all out to vote in November.
Yeah. All right, Katrina Pearson, senior advisor with the Trump 2020 campaign, on the road in beautiful Maine, where I can't imagine it's anywhere near as hot as it's been here in Southwest Florida. I'm just guessing. I'm guessing there's probably a lot lower humidity where you are, but that's an awesome thing, and I appreciate you spending a few minutes with us. Thanks so much, and hopefully we'll do this again. All the best.
Anytime. Thank you.
All right. 239-479-5592 is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line, streaming live on YouTube right now at Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. And hey, listen, let's do it, Jake, right now. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. And let's have a little bit of fun right now with you. Caller number 5 at 239-479-5592. Let's see what you got today on this pre-Jake Day Thursday. Jake Day we call Fridays because it's Jake's favorite day as a millennial. It is the day that he is closer and closer to the weekend. Some may even say that he checks out on Fridays. Yeah. Okay, so 5th caller right now. All right, let's find out what's happening with traffic up to the minute. Here's Sabrina Katz.
We are at a 5-mile delay on 75 southbound. So starting from Daniels all the way past Alico from the rollover crash that's at just south of Alico. Guys, don't get stuck in this. The best way to avoid it is US 41. Also slowing traffic in Estero on Corkscrew heading west towards US 41. And southbound delays on Livingston, of course, heading to Immokalee Road. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Expect mostly cloudy skies, breezy conditions today, and off and on scattered showers and storms. Temperatures upper 80s to lower 90s. We'll be back in a more typical summer-like pattern by Friday and all the way into the weekend. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Dan Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Serving up a tray load of truth today on 92.5 Fox News. News and smart views.
Tyler McDaniel here, and Brad McDaniel. We're the second generation of Ken Mark here. For our whole lives, our father Ken McDaniel raised us and instilled in us the work ethic and morals which we operate under and live by today. Ken Mark Air has teamed up with Maytag to bring high-quality products to you covered by Maytag's exclusive 12-year parts and 12-year dependability promise on select purchases. Be treated like family. Call Ken Mark Air. 239-437-7040. That's 437-7040. And online at kenmarkair.com. License number CAC 057163.
True relief for back and neck pain. Sitting at home with back or neck pain, lying in a recliner suffering with leg pain or weakness, out of shape from sciatica, stenosis, or neuropathy? Get relief and get your life back. Non-surgical spinal decompression. This is Dr. Johnson, DC at 596 Back. Spinal decompression is an ingenious, innovative treatment that has shattered doctors' traditional ways of treating back or neck problems. Doctors have been left scratching their heads. Finally, avoid needles, epidurals, and drugs. This treatment is also super comfortable. Patients of any age can be treated and doesn't involve any hanging upside down. It uses a relaxing, computerized table to gently remove pressure on spinal nerves and discs, relieving pain, numbness, or weakness. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for a free telephone consultation to find out how spinal decompression can help you. Johnston Spinal Care, 596 Back. 596-2225. That's 596-2225.
Hi, this is Matt Caldwell. I spent 8 years in the Florida House fighting for our conservative values. We cut billions in taxes, balanced our budget every year, removed government barriers to job growth, and made huge strides in fixing our water quality. Now I'm looking to use that experience as your next Lee County property appraiser. I've spent the past 20 years working as a professional property appraiser in both the residential and commercial markets. It's something I know well, and I'm the only candidate with this experience in the industry. I'm Matt Caldwell, and through the years, I've proven myself as a trusted, principled conservative. More than ever, it is crucial that we have strong conservatives with a proven record, someone in office that you know will not back down and will always defend our values. I have served you before, and I'm ready to do it again. I'm Matt Caldwell. I'm running for Lee County Property Appraiser, and I'm asking for your vote. Paid by Matt Caldwell, Republican for Lee County Property Appraiser.
Great paying part-time job with flexible hours? Check out 2020 Census Jobs. You may have another job, or not. You may even be retired or looking for some extra income, but you can also help make sure that everyone gets counted. So apply today at 2020census.gov/jobs to help strengthen your community.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's
All right, let's go to Bob in Fort Myers. Bob. Hey, Bob. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Drew. How you doing?
I'm good. Okay, there's Bob. All right, it's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD, and your associate's degree question, sir, starts right now. Hey, Bob, can you name our 2 United States senators from the great state of Florida right here? Their names, please.
Marco Rubio and Rick Scott.
That is correct, sir. All right. You've got an associate's. See if you get a bachelor's degree on this question. Why does the United States flag have 50 stars?
The number of states.
That's correct, sir. All right. You got a bachelor's. We'll see if you get a master's degree on this question. How often are presidential elections held? How often are these presidential elections held?
Every 4 years.
Yeah, that's correct, sir. All right, you got a master's degree. We'll see if you get a PhD on this question. Listen carefully. Which American president was the first to have a phone on his desk in the White House? The first to have a phone. Was it Woodrow Wilson, Herbert Hoover, or Thomas Jefferson?
Herbert Hoover.
That is correct, sir. What a guess. I mean, you are clearly the smartest man on your phone, sir. That is it was amazing work right there. So you got a PhD. I'm sure you're proud.
Excellent, I am.
Okay, good. Right, a little delay, but that's okay. So you got yourself a PhD, and you get the thrill that just goes shooting up and down your leg of speaking to Jake the Millennial right now as I put you on hold, and he'll explain how you'll get that degree, and of course, prizes and more in the world of Rona. So stay right there, okay?
Thanks, Drew.
All right, I thank you back. That is Bob right there in Fort Myers. All right, in just a couple of minutes, when we come back, we're going to get some more of the president's yesterday and the as Byron York calls it, the Battle of Portland, and what exactly is going on there. The Joe Biden, the man in the basement, ratcheting up his racism allegations against the president. Did he call him did he say he's the first racist elected president? Yeah, he kind of did. Plus something that happened in St. Louis that you need to know about that has to do with your constitutional rights, and it was an outrage. We'll talk about it coming up.
92.5 Fox News.
Conservative Ray Rodriguez shares our values, and he's fighting to deliver results. Ray Rodriguez stood with President Trump to ban sanctuary cities in Florida and hold government officials accountable who refuse to enforce our immigration laws. He also worked to pass E-Verify to protect American jobs and make it harder for illegals to find work. And he stood with President Trump to defend our Second Amendment rights. Conservative Ray Rodriguez worked with Governor DeSantis to grow our economy, cut taxes, and create jobs right here in Southwest Florida. When Governor DeSantis needed him, Ray Rodriguez delivered billions of dollars for water quality projects that will clean up our local waterways and reduce harmful Lake Okeechobee discharges. Ray Rodriguez understands water is our state's most precious resource and has been steadfast in prioritizing clean water. Ray Rodriguez is the trusted conservative we can count on to deliver results in the Florida Senate. He's 100% pro-life, stood with President Trump to fight illegal immigration, and delivered results in the fight for clean water.
I'm Ray Rodriguez, and I'm asking for your vote.
Paid by Ray Rodriguez, Republican for Florida Senate.
Across the nation, America is moving forward, finding our footing, getting back on our feet. Life continues to open up. Businesses are getting back to business, and we are too. We know you rely on the Good Feet store to be there when you need us. We're open and ready to serve you. Our personally fit arch supports are designed to help alleviate, even eliminate, foot, knee, hip, and back pain, and provide comfort, balance, and support. The well-being of our customers, associates, and community is our highest priority. So we've implemented new measures, procedures, and precautions, keeping your health and safety in the forefront. The Good Feet store is lending a hand to help America get back on its feet. And just as we have for a quarter century, we're helping to improve the quality of people's lives, 2 feet at a time.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? Call 552-FEET or visit us in Naples or our newest store in Fort Myers.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by CFS Roofing. Online at cfsroofing.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
This is Therese O'Shea with Wink News. A 9-year-old girl has died from COVID-19 in Florida. The Florida Department of Health says she's from Putnam County. It says she had unknown contact with someone with COVID-19 and it was not travel related. This marks the youngest coronavirus death in our state. Just hours from now, Lee County Schools will hold an emergency meeting. They'll discuss a start date for the school year. This comes as Collier and Charlotte counties push back their start dates. Trust Wink News to be at that meeting. This morning, employees at one local hospital will push back against what they say are unsafe work conditions. There's a planned protest at Fawcett Memorial Hospital in Port Charlotte at 8 a.m. Nurses who work there say there are dangerously low levels of staffing. Just hours from now, you can donate blood and get an antibody test. There's a big need for blood right now. You can donate today at D. Gates Insurance Group along Del Prado Boulevard in Cape Coral. That's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Masks are now required in Collier County, but one business says it will not be following that order. At Seed to Table owner Alfie Oakes says he will not crack down on requiring face coverings. Despite his stance, the grocery store is still experiencing a heavy flow of traffic. While some agree with Oakes' decision, others are unhappy with the lack of safety precautions. Florida breweries are really struggling during the pandemic. Up to 100 across the state could be forced to close for good if reopening rollbacks continue. We told you last week the Fort Myers Brewing Company ran out of federal loans it used to stay afloat. The owner says they're now using savings they plan to use for an expansion. I'm Therese O'Shea, Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
We are at a 5-mile delay on 75 southbound, so starting from Daniels all the way past Alico from the rollover crash that's at just south of Alico. Guys, don't get stuck in this. The best way to avoid it is US 41. Also slowing traffic in Estero on Corkscrew heading west towards US 41, and southbound delays on Livingston, of course, heading to Immokalee Road. That's Trip to the Minute Traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Again, expect scattered showers and storms off and on throughout most of the day, mostly cloudy skies and breezy conditions here throughout the afternoon. High temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s, but we're back in our typical summer-like pattern Friday and all the way into the weekend. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Get more than what the internet tells you. Get up to speed on The Drive with Trey Radel. Weekdays 5 to 7. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Home is truly where the heart is. CFS Roofing Services understands that. When I saw what CFS did for my neighbor's roof, I called them. Everyone was professional, and owner David Crowther has nearly 4 decades of experience. It's obvious they care.
CFS Roofing Services, where your home matters most. Visit cfsroofing.com or call 239-561-2600. I'm David Crowther, and I approve this message.
Replacing your wood paneling? That's a do-it-yourself. Replacing your electrical panel? That's a don't do-it-yourself. Play it safe and call your locally owned Mr. Sparky for any electrical replacement. From electrical panels to total home rewires, Mr. Sparky will leave your home safer than we found it.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
I'm Casey Askar. My family fled Christian persecution in Iraq. We found freedom in America where we can worship without fear. I joined the Marines to defend the country that gave us so much. But now, America is under attack. Our founders, our heroes, our faith. It's time to fight back. I'm Casey Askar, and I approve this message. I fought for my faith, my family, and my country, and I will fight for you.
Paid for by Casey Askar for Congress.
Now more than ever, it's essential to have a primary care provider ready to care for you. Book your first appointment through Millennium Physician Group's telehealth service, MPG Connect, and get established with a care team who will be there for you wherever and whenever you need. Primary and specialty care, walk-in centers, lab services, imaging centers, and COVID-19 evaluation and testing. Connect with Millennium Physician Group today and be ready for tomorrow. 844-CALL-MPG. 844-CALL-MPG. MillenniumPhysician.com.
Eating dinner in your underwear?
Honey, put some clothes on.
Taking cold showers every hour? Or pitching a tent in front of your refrigerator to stay cool. These are things you can do to beat the heat in your home or stay cool this summer the right way with a $69 AC tune-up with no breakdown guarantee. Visit FloridaCoolToday.com for details. Carrier turn to the experts.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
From 92.5 Fox News,
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
it's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida, Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the phone number, the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line, and streaming live on YouTube anytime you want to watch. Drew Steele, Radio Steele with 3 E's. Please subscribe to the channel. It's free. It helps us to keep this going and able to watch on YouTube or Facebook. And thank you for being here and being a part of this program today. We're going to get into some of the outrageous things that Democrats are planning to do. A party that not only wants to defund and just dismantle police departments, but wants to make you believe, using the activists posing as journalists, that there's nothing to see here. Everything is fine. Move along in places like Portland. There's nothing to see here. Move along when in St. Louis, there is an actual situation where the prosecutor's office in St. Louis would take someone's constitutional rights away, and not only try to do that, but also take a weapon that was non-operable and make that weapon operable just so that they can charge an individual with a crime that they did not commit. Wait, are you serious? No, I'm serious. And George Soros' name is popping up. Democrats who are allowing this type of thing to happen. This is real. This is actually happening in the United States. And you not only should you be outraged, but you should be asking where people in this town that you live in stand when it comes to issues like this. People that would like to be your congressman, people that would like to be on the city council or commissioners or even on school boards, because it matters, everybody. If somebody tells you, oh, no, these are non-political, nonpartisan races, we're not partisan, really? Really? So then school board members should be president of the United States because they would be the only true nonpartisans in the world. We should have school board members run the country because if they're nonpartisans and they're running in nonpartisan races, then they must be the most, above us all, most incredible people on the planet. Yes, I'm being hyperbolic, and yes, I'm being outrageous, because it is outrageous, is it not? The whole idea of nonpartisan races, do you honestly think that there's anybody right now that is not a partisan? We're all partisans. I'm a partisan. I believe in my conservative values. Doesn't mean that I want to take away or destroy your constitutional rights, your God-given rights, and change fundamentally the country as we know it. That's not me. But there are people that are doing it. All right. I can't start this segment. I can't do it like this. I need to wake up a little bit. Hold on a second. I need my morning cup of Joe.
Sit back with your morning cup of Joe.
Not a joke. Anyway, whoever it is, nurses at Walter Reed Hospital who would bend down and whisper in my ear. Wow. They'd go home and get me pillows. They'd actually breathe in my nostrils to make me move, to get me moving.
Okay. What? In a Zoom town hall kind of meeting where a couple of people decided to watch and show up yesterday, and Joe Biden was, I guess, describing some of his experiences at Walter Reed and experiences of people, and nurses would come up to him in the way that they would kind of make sure that everything was okay and kind of help him out. It's something that nurses do all the time.
Wow. They'd go home and get me pillows.
They go home and get him pillows, and not only that,
they'd actually breathe in my nostrils to make me move, to get me moving.
Do nurses do that? If you're a nurse, 239-479-5592. If you're a nurse, do you breathe in somebody's nose to get them to move? I mean, maybe you do. Look, I'm not suggesting that Joe Biden's not sure where he's sitting right now. I'm just saying that it's a possibility that happens. I never heard of that. That's new to me. What else did Joe Biden say yesterday? Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering if you're a Democrat in Southwest Florida or you're somebody who is a liberal ideology and you just need a champion. You need somebody to give us the facts, and somebody who knows the straight up facts. Somebody who chooses it.
We choose truth over facts.
Or something like that. Here's Joe Biden with his latest iteration of being alive.
I'm being deadly earnest about it.
What?
I genuinely mean it.
What?
And what President Trump has done in going his spreading of racism, the way he deals with people based on the color of their skin, their national origin, where they're from, is absolutely sickening. No sitting president has ever done this. Never, never, never. No Republican president has done this. No Democratic president. We have racists, and they've existed. They've tried to get elected president. He's the first one that has. And the way he pits people against one another is all designed to divide the country.
So he believes there's Joe Biden, who, to the agreement of those that were listening to him talk in this town hall, I think there were like 8, claiming that President of the United States is racist, and he's the first racist elected president. There's Joe Biden's latest. Did he read that off a teleprompter or a piece of paper, or did that come off of Joe's head just naturally, the way he usually does?
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
All right. Yeah, so there's the latest from Joe. Look, we could sit and we can analyze and we can go through everything that Joe Biden said at that moment in time, but I'm choosing not to, quite honestly, because I don't know if Joe Biden even knows what he just said. And that's just a fact, especially when you ask people about Joe Biden's mental clarity, we're being kind, and what they think about it. And there are a lot of people who are concerned about dementia. I think it was like 50%, 48% of people polled that were concerned about that. But yet, it's fine. It's really about the vice president. Wait till we find out who the vice presidential candidate is, because that's where we're going to focus, because ultimately that's who the person is that's going to be president. Are we really doing this? Are we really sitting here right now and debating this issue? I think it's also interesting that it's the Democrat Party that wants you to believe that in no way, shape, or form does Joe Biden believe in defunding police departments, dismantling police departments, even though he puts pen to paper in his name to documents and to agreements with people like Bernie Sanders on a progressive movement and platform that they will present to the American people that would do just that. What do you think defunding the police is? You think it's just making sure that they cut back $5, $10, $15 because, these people are just getting paid too much? These officers that go out there each and every day and risk their lives for the safety and security of their communities, these individuals, they're just getting paid too much. And so what we need to do is we need to do something about. Do you really think that that's the case? You don't, right? Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer yesterday issued an executive order called 2020-155, which cut $115 million from the Michigan State Police budget. What do you think that does to to the state police? How do you think that affects them? You think it's just, oh man, we got cutbacks. We really got to worry about what we're getting paid. Do you think that's what that is? You don't think that in any way, shape, or form is going to affect the way that they're able to protect the citizens? Now, you take that one step further and you start to see some of the outrageous things that are happening in Democrat areas of the country, with people that clearly don't care about your rights, because I don't know how a prosecutor anywhere, in any office, in any place in the United States can be allowed to do this without anybody pushing back. What is this? The McCloskeys, the McCloskeys are the family that decided that it was time to exercise their Second Amendment rights, and their rights that were there even available to them in the state of Missouri, to protect their home, castle doctrine, to push back against individuals who would break onto their private property, as they did, a street that was fenced off private property, where They came through the fence with only 2 homes on that street, came in. They were concerned about the safety of the family and their home. And one had an AR-15, one had a pistol in their hand. They were the ones that were arrested and charged. They're the ones that now are in trouble. Forget about the ones that broke onto their private property and what they did. No, we're not concerned about that. These people had guns, and they were protecting their life and their homes. Now we come to find out that Patricia McCloskey had a pistol, if you remember. She was waving this pistol at protesters who broke down a gate to trespass on their private street. Come to find out that that weapon was a non-operable, quote-unquote, prop used during a lawsuit that they were involved in. A prop. It was not operable. So a member of Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner's staff, someone who we find out has connections to George Soros, is that right? Someone on Kim Gardner's staff ordered the crime lab to get this, follow this, disassemble, and then reassemble the gun. Well, why would you do that? Why would you disassemble a gun and then reassemble it? So it would allow them to classify it as a, quote, capable of lethal use weapon, so that they can put it in charging documents that they filed on Monday. Are you following this? The prosecutor's office took a gun that was not operable, and after the fact in their office, disassemble it and reassemble it so that it would make it operable so that they can charge them with a crime. Are you following this? Yeah. Does it get any more outrageous than that? I don't believe that it does. And it also begs a lot of questions. Who would back this? Who would be an individual who maybe you might vote for here in Southwest Florida, let's say, who might see nothing wrong with that? Well, it's a gun. I don't like guns. Do you see how this plays out? I want to take this a little further because this is important. This is not hyperbolic. This is just fact. Do you see when there are people who are not exactly fans of the Second Amendment, really don't like guns, try to do anything and everything they can to kind of nibble around the edges to take away that Second Amendment right because they're afraid of guns and they have this fear and they don't want you to have one, a law-abiding citizen who has every constitutional right to have one? Do you see where, when Second Amendment right issues were coming up in the past, and we talked about how we want to protect ourselves, and what are you talking about? There's police departments. We got police departments all over the place. You spend tax dollars on police departments. Why do you need a gun? I don't know, maybe because you want to defund them? You want to dismantle them? Maybe it's because I don't trust you to even allow me to pay my taxes to fund a police department that's supposed to protect me because you're telling me I'm not allowed to have it. Do you see this? And then on top of that, these same individuals will say, nothing. That's if you're watching on YouTube, that's me zipping my lips. By the way, Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's on YouTube. They will zip their lip. They won't say one single thing when they know that a prosecutor in Missouri, in a liberal area, and a liberal prosecutor would manipulate evidence to charge you with a crime that has to do with you having that gun, and they won't say anything, knowing full well how outrageous that is. Why? Because that's the side they're on. Because that's what they believe in. Because they might go, oh, that's an outrage. Isn't that the coolest thing ever? Why didn't we think of this here in Southwest Florida? Why aren't we doing that? That's not hyperbolic. That's true. It's true. That's where this goes, everybody. That's how far this will go. That's why if anybody comes out anytime in the future and says, we're going to have a serious discussion about Second Amendment. Nope. We got to have a gun control. Nope. The gun control issue, as far as I'm concerned, is over. is over. If you are going to defund police departments and dismantle police departments, guess what? I get to have a gun even more than ever now. Because you're taking away the one protection that you were claiming before that I had, so I didn't have to worry about having one. Yeah, you screwed that up, didn't you? Just saying. 239-479-5592. I'm a little frustrated today because I want to make sure that here in Southwest Florida that when we are doing things here, that you understand a couple of issues. Number one, when it comes to who we vote for in Southwest Florida, to be able to question individuals as to their history. If they claim to be a Republican, I want to know why you're a Republican. I want to know that you're a conservative more than a Republican. But if you claim to be one, what does that even mean? And prove it to me. And maybe I might want to even research you in the interwebs. I might even like to look you up on Facebook to see how much, I don't know, maybe you hate the president and speak bad. Because if you speak ill about the president, I'm assuming you're not speaking well about his policies, which would lead me to believe that you would be on the side of policies that nobody in this town, well, certainly not the majority of people believe in. The people that listen to this station and the ones you're asking for their vote. And I'm just wondering if you're on that side, because that might give us a good idea. And then the second thing is when the cancel culture comes along and says, hey, listen, when we change the name of Lee County from Robert E. Lee to something else, what would you like it to be? Let's just put it out there and have a little bit of fun. No. That's not fun. Because number one, the cancel culture doesn't get to tell us what anything is going to be. They don't even get to cancel in this town and to say we're going to get rid of the name Lee County, although they want to come to this town to do that. And I say enough is enough. We cancel you. So yes, I'll get behind the changing of the county of Lee County to Trump County. How about that? And if you're on board with it, I'd love for you to be part of the change.org petition. And it's growing each and every minute. Come on. All you have to do is text the word Trump right now to 239-479-5592. Text the word Trump right now. And Jake will send you a link to our change.org page as we build more signatures. We talked to Representative Spencer Roach yesterday. We'll maybe play that audio again of how the process goes. How do we change the name of the county to Trump County? Because you don't get to cancel it and then decide what it's going to be without our input. We'll just stop you from doing that ahead of time. And there's a lot more coming up. Oh, that's not the end of it. All right, let's find out what's happening on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News with traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
Now we are up to 6 miles of standstill traffic on 75 southbound. So starting south of Colonial all the way past Alico, traffic is slammed, pretty much a parking lot. Avoid it. Go ahead and hop on US 41. That's going to be your best alternate to navigate around this hefty congestion. Also a crash in North Fort Myers at Bayshore Road and New Post Road, starting to slow traffic just a touch eastbound on Bayshore as you're making that commute towards I-75. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Expect mostly cloudy skies, breezy conditions today, and off and on scattered showers and storms. Temperatures upper 80s to lower 90s. We'll be back in a more typical summer-like pattern by Friday and all the way into the weekend. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
92.5 Fox News, making Southwest Florida great every day. 92.5 Fox News.
This is State Representative Spencer Roach. 2 years ago, I asked you to trust me with your vote to be your voice in the state capitol. I told you that I would not let you down, and I haven't. I voted to ban sanctuary cities and to give the governor the power to remove any elected official who provides sanctuary to illegal aliens. I voted to strip away anti-free market regulations that grant monopolies to the healthcare industrial complex. I supported teacher pay raises, and I'm proud to say that I was the leading co-sponsor on the bill to prevent minors from getting abortions without their parents' knowledge. As rioters march across the country and socialists attempt to overthrow our government, we need leaders tough enough to protect our freedoms, secure our communities, and rebuild our economy. I'm Spencer Roach, and you can trust me to stand up and fight for our liberty, protect our history, and maintain law and order. And that's why I'm asking for your vote. Paid for by Spencer Roach, Republican for Florida House, District 79.
It has never happened before and may never happen again. $1 million in credit stimulus at Galliana Kia in Fort Myers. We've teamed up with the most forgiving lenders in America to get everyone approved for the new car they really want. If you've got $500 down and you make at least $2,000 per month, you could be approved for new 2020 Kia Sportage lease, just $199 per month. That's right, a new SUV for $199 per month. Bad credit, first-time buyer, unemployed, overwhelmed, upside down. During the credit stimulus event, all credit situations are welcome. It's first come, first served. So arrive early and be prepared to drive home today. But hurry, because when the $1 million in credit stimulus runs out, this sale is over at Galliana Kia, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
36-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, $24.99 to assign, plus tax, title, dealer, and acquisition fee. 0 security deposit with lender approval expires month 5.
Liberal politician Jason Mon is running for his 3rd different office in just the last 4 years. He's even quitting the city council early just to run for another seat. But another political office isn't the only thing Mon is running from. He's also running from his criminal past. Jason Mon was arrested and charged in a drive-by shooting. He was driving drunk and firing a gun from his car while going 100 miles per hour. He pled guilty to charges and was sentenced to jail. Mon has also been delinquent in paying his own property taxes at least 20 times, but voted to raise spending by millions of dollars on city council. We don't need liberal politician Jason Mon in Tallahassee. But conservatives have a choice. Republican Adam Botana is the pro-life, pro-Second Amendment, and pro-Trump leader we can trust. He shares our conservative values and will serve us with honor. Paid by Adam Botana, Republican for State Representative.
Attention Florida HVAC technicians. I want you to take a look down at your uniform. Is the name Best Home Services embroidered on the front? If not, I have some very bad news. You're working at the wrong company. Join a team where you can create your own opportunities. Join Best Home Services. If you take pride in providing outstanding customer service, Best Home Services is where you want to be. Of course we offer top wages, top benefits, and top perks, but it's the other stuff that makes us different. You and your family deserve more. Join the team at Best Home Services and enjoy living up to the name. Best Home Services, now hiring HVAC technicians.
Hi, I'm Jim Levins, and I'm running for Lee County Sheriff. For more than 30 years, I've served on the front lines of law enforcement, all right here in Lee County. Now, as radicalized Democrats attempt to open our borders, destroy our churches, and defund the police, it is more important than ever to have a pro-cop, pro-Trump, pro-law and order sheriff who won't give in to the liberal mob and who will fight for you each and every day. That's exactly who I am, and that's exactly what I'll do. I'm Jim Levins, running for Lee County Sheriff, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jim Levins, Republican for Lee County Sheriff.
True relief for back and neck pain.
At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, if you're suffering with a spinal-related problem, pain, numbness, or weakness, through the use of spinal decompression therapy, we've helped hundreds and hundreds of local residents return to a pain-free, productive life. People who once suffered from stenosis, sciatica, bulging, or herniated discs and thought there was no solution are now living pain-free. Spinal decompression is relaxing and painless, while it gently eases pressure off painful nerves and spinal discs. No pain, no needles, and no surgery. I've successfully been using spinal decompression in Southwest Florida for over 13 years, and the results are only getting better. Take your life back. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for a free telephone consultation to find out how spinal decompression can help you. Johnston Spinal Care, 596 Back, 596-2225. That's 596-2225.
I'm here with Mike Roberts with Mortgage Warehouse. Mike, give me an update on mortgage rates. How are things looking?
There is a lot of talk about mortgage rates these days, and for good reason. Mortgage rates are nearing the lowest levels we've seen in years. Anyone that purchased their home in 2017 or 2018 should check into refinancing their mortgage to get a lower interest rate. Give us a call at 313-5000 or apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com. You'll work directly with one of our loan officers right here in Southwest Florida. Our no closing costs program allows you to refinance with no fees out of pocket, no fees rolled into your loan, and you won't pay any Florida mortgage taxes either. If you took out a mortgage in 2017 or 2018, or you have an interest rate above 4%, or you are paying mortgage insurance, also known as PMI, call us at 313-5000. That's 313-5000, or apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm Casey Askar. My family fled Christian persecution in Iraq. We found freedom in America, where we can worship without fear. I joined the Marines to defend the country that gave us so much. But now, America is under attack. Our founders, our heroes, our faith. It's time to fight back. I'm Casey Askar, and I approve this message. I fought for my faith, my family, and my country, and I will fight for you.
Paid for by Casey Askar for Congress.
This Wink News Update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
This is Therese O'Shea with Wink News. A 9-year-old girl has died from COVID-19 in Florida. The Florida Department of Health says she's from Putnam County. It says she had unknown contact with someone with COVID-19 and it was not travel-related. This marks the youngest coronavirus death in our state. Just hours from now, Lee County Schools will hold an emergency meeting. They'll discuss a start date for the school year. This comes as Collier and Charlotte counties push back their start dates. Trust Wink News to be at that meeting. This morning, employees at one local hospital will push back against what they say are unsafe work conditions. There's a planned protest at Fawcett Memorial Hospital in Port Charlotte at 8 a.m. Nurses who work there say there are dangerously low levels of staffing. Just hours from now, you can donate blood and get an antibody test. There's a big need for blood right now. You can donate today at D. Gates Insurance Group along Del Prado Boulevard in Cape Coral. That's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Masks are now required in Collier County, but one business says it will not be following that order. At Seed to Table, owner Alfie Oakes says he will not crack down on requiring face coverings. Despite his stance, the grocery store is still experiencing a heavy flow of traffic. While some agree with Oakes' decision, others are unhappy with the lack of safety precautions. Florida breweries are really struggling during the pandemic. Up to 100 across the state could be forced to close for good if reopening rollbacks continue. We told you last week the Fort Myers Brewing Company ran out of federal loans it used to stay afloat. The owner says they're now using savings they plan to use for an expansion. I'm Therese O'Shea, Wink News now.
Wink News traffic.
Now we are up to 6 miles of standstill traffic on 75 southbound. So starting south of Colonial, all the way past Alico, traffic is slammed, pretty much a parking lot. Avoid it. Go ahead and hop on US 41. That's going to be your best alternate to navigate around this hefty congestion. Also a crash in North Fort Myers at Bayshore Road and New Post Road, starting to slow traffic just a touch eastbound on Bayshore as you're making that commute towards I-75. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Again, expect scattered showers and storms off and on throughout most of the day, mostly cloudy skies and breezy conditions here throughout the afternoon. High temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s, but we're back in our typical summer-like pattern Friday and all the way into the weekend. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Steven Tomatoes, sports page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
It's Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page. Do you feel American pride and want to shout, God bless America? As a son of immigrants who came through Ellis Island, I stand when the national anthem plays and get emotional thinking of those who have sacrificed for America's greatness. At Stevie's, we're filled with gratitude for our great customers and the country we live in. The firemen, police, emergency service, construction workers, and those who go about each day providing the foundation for our country. We love our customers and express our gratitude with our food, service, and value. Thankful for your dedication for what you do. And to all our great customers, show your love for this great country by going to any Stevie's. Stand at the bar and say loud and clear for all to hear, God bless America, and I'll buy you a 10-ounce beer. Restrictions apply in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. God bless America.
Steven Tomatoes, sports page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
We are Moran Wealth Management. Passionate about learning what's important to you and your family. Personable, with 24 professionals dedicated to attentive, customized service and focused on client relationships. Performance-driven. As part of Barron's top 1,200 advisors, Tom Moran, founder, CEO, and senior PIM portfolio manager, is Florida's highest-ranked advisor for 2019. Call 239-920-4440 today
or visit MoranWealthManagement.com. Moran Wealth Management. Passionate, personable, performance-driven. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
Across the country, police departments are being defunded. Criminals are being released en masse, and violent crime is on the rise. But here in Lee County, that's not how we roll. Sheriff Carmine Marcino is on the job, and he knows what to do with violent criminals. Arrest them, prosecute them, put them behind bars.
I'm Lee County Sheriff Carmine Marcino. Protecting Lee County is my top priority. Utilizing technology to implement sophisticated strategies to catch criminals. Consistently working to improve our response times. Putting more deputies on the street to keep career criminals off them.
It's hard work, but Sheriff Carmine Marcino understands that keeping our neighborhoods, schools, and businesses safe is worth it. That's why Lee County has one of the lowest crime rates in Florida.
I'm Sheriff Carmine Marcino, and I serve to protect you.
Paid electioneering communication paid for by the Conservative Champion Leaders, 133 Harbor Drive, South Venice, Florida, 34285.
For the past 58 years, Conditioned Air is focused on your comfort. Today more than ever, our business community, our nonprofits, our leaders, and our citizens are relying on each other for strength. It's not a me thing, a you thing, it's a we time in our lives. Conditioned Air is here for you and here for our community. Whether you're looking for routine air conditioning, service and repair for your home, installation of a new air conditioning system in a large commercial property, or anything in between, our Conditioned Air team is eager to help. You can count on the people of Conditioned Air. We are your neighbors, parents of school children, volunteers in the communities, coworkers, consumers, and supporters of all types of businesses. We want to help you when and where you need us, at your business or in your home. Your comfort is essential. Invest wisely. Conditioned Air, the comfort people since 1962, serving all of Southwest Florida. Call 1-888-COLD-AIR or log on to conditionedair.com. License number CAC 1819590.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right. Sorry, that was very McConaughey-esque, right? Isn't that Matthew McConaughey, Jake the Millennial? All right.
Yeah, it was from that one movie.
Yeah, it was from that one movie where the guy that did that one thing and then then he lost the girl and that one person and then he ended up getting her back. Yeah, that's every movie, right? Every movie is boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl back, or girl loses, right? Isn't that the theme of every single movie, every single TV show? Isn't that how they all work?
Pretty much. All
right, I'm glad we established that. That was a big deal on this pre-Jake Day. It's Thursday. We call Jake Day around here. Fridays is Jake Day because it's Jake's favorite day, because as a millennial, he gets a head start on his weekend on a Friday, where it's a day where he kind of relaxes and decides that it's not much to do today because it's almost the weekend, so why not just make it today? It's a confusing thing. But one thing that is not confusing is the top 5 audio clips of the day. It's the 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to moranwm.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
In 2016, you said it was President Obama's fault that homicides were up in Chicago. So why was it the president's fault then, but it's not your fault now?
Chicago is a disaster. The mayor is saying, don't come in. The mayor is telling us not to come in. At some point, we can void that if we have to, but we may have to because it's out of control. I assume she's saying that for political reasons. I think it's negative political reasons. She's a Democrat. I'm going to be nice. She's a Democrat. She's making a big mistake. People are dying in Chicago and other cities, and we can solve the problem. They have to ask us, but we can solve the problem.
Why was it President Obama's fault in 2016? You credited it as
because
him.
President Obama was invited in, and he did a poor job. President Obama could have gone into Chicago. He could have solved the problem.
Thank you. There's the President of the United States yesterday at the coronavirus presser. being pressed about the questions that people have, that the activists posing as journalists have, with the president who has decided to authorize a surge of federal agents into cities that have been plagued by violence. And it's about time that we do something because the Democrat mayors and governors in these cities like Portland and Chicago and Detroit have done nothing. And in 2016, the president of the United States, way back when, and Barack Obama, 2012, anytime in any president term in office could have done something, and they all decided to do nothing and say, well, why don't you do something? Why do you blame? Well, how come we can't blame you? Because we're saying, this president is saying, we want to help you. We want to bring agents in. We want to stop this crime from happening. And they're saying, no, we're okay. Everything's fine here. No, it's not fine. And sooner or later it has to stop. And hopefully that is now.
Number 4.
You're gonna be here every night.
Whoa. By the way, I can't play any more of that. You know what that sound is? That sound that you were hearing that was creatively edited because it had to be edited for radio because I can't even play for you what was being said. And the sound of projectiles, bottles, and metal, and wood, and concrete being thrown at the wall and smashing into the wall, being aimed at the mayor of the city of Portland, Ted Wheeler, who is out there just wanted to talk to the peaceful protesters and just have a discourse. So what is it you guys want? Only to find out what we already know, that they don't want you. They don't want a Republican. They don't want a Democrat. They don't want somebody who's going to kneel. They don't want somebody who's going to stand. They don't want anybody that you think you're going to talk to, these peaceful protesters. They don't want to have anything to do with your discussions. And as a matter of fact, they're not peaceful at all.
Number 3.
Can't go out to the ball game. Can't go out in a crowd. Can't buy a ticket, I'm out of luck. Can't be there to yell, the Astros suck! So I'll stay at home for my home team and watch it in my man cave. 'Cause my beers and food don't cost as much as a real ball game.
Okay, I'm assuming that played because it's the quote-unquote opening day of the Major League Baseball season. I also noticed that as they were training before this opening, that they're now kneeling for the national anthem. So as far as Major League Baseball goes, I'll sit this one out.
Number 2.
Nurses at Walter Reed Hospital who would bend down and whisper in my ear. Wow. They'd go home and get me pillows. They'd actually breathe in my nostrils to make me move, to get me moving.
Is that a nursing technique? There's Joe Biden explaining to about 5 or 6 people on Zoom who wanted to hear him speak about, I guess, his thoughts on the coronavirus and nursing, and how nurses have helped individuals, and how I guess when he was in the hospital that nurse, he would say, hey, could you go home and get me a pillow? And then they would do that. And then how you would breathe into somebody's nostrils and just to make him move into somebody's nostrils. I mean, I'm not a nurse. I don't even play one at home, but my wife does. And it's a really, I can't imagine. Is that a thing?
Number 1.
The children who go to school then go back to home, some live with their grandparents. Sure. There's a real risk. Would you understand if some schools...
Well, they do say that they don't transmit very easily, and a lot of people are saying they don't transmit, and we're looking at that. We're studying, John, very hard, that particular subject, that they don't bring it home with them. Now, they don't catch it easily, they don't bring it home easily, and if they do catch it, they get better fast. We're looking at that fact. That is a factor, and we're looking at that very strongly.
Okay, so they're looking at that very strongly. That's Jonathan Karl yesterday at the Coronavirus Task Team press conference as the president was explaining, what their thinking is when it comes to looking at schools and reopening schools and talking about schools should be open. And even here in Southwest Florida, we've been talking about this as well.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
And how we want to make sure we all have the facts, the data, right? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the science, the data that would assure parents that even here in Southwest Florida, if there is talk about pushing back the school year, a lot of people have questions. How long do we push it back for? What's the magic number that it would take for us to be confident that the kids could go back to school? Should there really be a concern about whether or not kids are going to catch it and then bring it home to their elderly grandparent and then have that issue going on? And so what is the evidence? Well, thank goodness for CNN. I'll tell you what, if CNN wasn't fact-checking, I don't know what we would do. CNN fact-checked the president on this, falsely suggesting that kids don't transmit the coronavirus. That's not really exactly what the president said, but kind of, sort of, about going back to school. Do they spread the virus? And according to CNN and their fact checkers, that is a flat out lie. Of course, anything that the president says. If the president is standing, the president was standing at an angle, it must mean that he's got health issues that he's not talking about. Is he okay? He's having a heart attack and he doesn't want to tell anybody. Do you see how that works? I could do that all day. Until somebody actually said, hey, do we have any evidence, any place around the globe that could give us a little more confidence to believe what the president's saying is true? Or does he just want kids to go back to school and then bring it home and then families to die? Is that really what the president, because we could do that all day too. That's what the activists do who are posing as journalists. We got lots of those around. Well, here's a story out of Bloomberg, June 23rd. I don't know if anybody cares about this, but there's a story here that says school kids don't spread coronavirus, a French study shows. Well, it was done in France. What do they know? Come on. They could barely make a crepe. School kids don't appear to transmit the new coronavirus to peers or teachers, a French study found, weighing in on the crucial topic of children's role in propagating COVID-19. Scientists at this fancy institute that has a French name that I can't pronounce studied 1,340 people in this town that I can't pronounce because it's got a cool French name. Town northeast of Paris that suffered an outbreak in February and March, including 510 students from 6 primary schools. They found 3 probable cases among kids that didn't lead to more infections among other pupils or teachers. The study confirms that children appear to show fewer telltale symptoms than adults and be less contagious, providing a justification for school reopenings in countries like Denmark to Switzerland. Let's remember that schools all across the globe have been open, and we haven't heard anything. And let's remember that there are a lot of daycares that have been open as well, and we haven't heard a whole lot about that lately either. And a whole lot of grocery stores that have been open, and seems like essential places. Okay, the point is that we can do this all day long as well. We can either have everybody at heightened panic 24 hours a day, or we can explore the science on both sides. We can explore what we should and should not do and then make logical choices, and even better, have you make a choice. I don't want my child going to school. I don't trust the science you're talking about, Drew, and I don't feel comfortable. Okay? And I would assume that the school district will make every accommodation for you to make sure that your child will not stop their learning, that it will not stop because of this, but that there will be accommodations that in this day and age that we can do to make sure that there's education that is happening in your house. I'm assuming that's happening. There's a lot of discussion about the masks and mask mandates in Collier County and whether or not this is a good thing or a bad thing, and whether or not this is going to save the world, save the community. Everything is going to go down. I might make the suggestion that we're on a trajectory right now where the numbers would be going down anyway on their own, and that's the direction that we're heading. Although if you listen to some of the propaganda out there, you would believe otherwise. But the numbers do speak for themselves, although the numbers don't always speak for themselves, because we're finding out manipulations in numbers in certain states like Florida and Texas and Tennessee, and talked about that yesterday. You can revisit yesterday's show on YouTube, streaming live each and every day, and it's there if you want to check that out. Just go to Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's, and you can rewatch that and find out more about what I was talking about. And the interesting part of how all of that is now going to be enforced in Collier County, we find out Alfie Oakes and his establishment there, Oakes Farms and Seed to Table, it's going to be masks optional, and we're going to find out whether or not that's going to be enforced and how that's going to be enforced. So we'll see. And again, I had information yesterday about masks and whether or not they do or do not work when it comes to people saying, just wear the mask. Well, there's some information that you might want to know. Again, visit yesterday's show on YouTube and you can find out more there. And some other things that you may want to revisit, even the story that I had yesterday that I have to repeat. I've got to repeat the story because to me, this was a big deal. And I want to mention this quickly before we go to break. Yesterday, Breitbart had a story, Planned Parenthood to remove eugenicist Margaret Sanger's name from flagship abortion clinic. When you see that headline, there are a lot of people that are cheering. Of course, understand that Planned Parenthood is not going to stop doing abortions as they have been doing. They're not going to leave the communities that they are in and stop doing it in certain places where we have come to find out that Margaret Sanger has always talked about this and eugenicists and deciding who should live and who shouldn't and the actual people that should live and who shouldn't. But just by taking her name away from Planned Parenthood doesn't mean that they're going to stop doing what they are doing. And in this Breitbart story, even Dinesh D'Souza was talking about how there is a national portrait gallery at the Smithsonian Institute, and there is a bust of Margaret Sanger, kind of like there's a bust of Robert E. Lee downtown. At least there used to be in Fort Myers. And where he said, this is Margaret Sanger's bust at the National Portrait Gallery, the Smithsonian Institute, a lifelong eugenicist. Sanger supported racial segregation, that's true, forced sterilization for low IQ, handicapped, and quote-unquote undesirable black people, that's true. She also praised Nazi sterilization laws. These are all facts, everybody. So he says, Black Lives Matter, why ignore her racist legacy? Well, there are people that are saying, well, we're not. We're taking her name down. Now, don't get me wrong. We're not going to stop doing abortions, committing these abortions. Not at all, but we're going to take the name away. Maybe so, people won't be so angry with us. But what does the Smithsonian have to say about this? This is so important, everybody. Here you go. Breitbart reached out to Smithsonian Institute, the National Portrait Gallery, for comment, and here's what they said. Listen carefully. They said the National Portrait Gallery represents and puts into context significant American biographies through portraiture. The museum is not a hall of heroes, but rather a collection of individuals who have impacted American history and culture in ways good and bad. Margaret Sanger, founder of the American Birth Control League, is included in the museum's collection, not in tribute to all her beliefs, but because of her leading role in early efforts to distribute information about birth control and medical information to disadvantaged women, as well as her later roles associated with developing modern methods of contraception. The museum presents the complexities of her as a leader of medical awareness on issues of women's health. Now take that paragraph, everybody, and substitute Margaret Sanger's name for, I don't know, some of the cancel culture ideas. Robert E. Lee, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington. And let's see what we have. Because, by the way, they're not taking away the portraiture of Margaret Sanger. What they're saying is it's not going away. But listen to this. Let's put Robert E. Lee in place of Margaret Sanger. The National Portrait Gallery represents and puts into context significant American biographies through portraiture. The museum is not a hall of heroes, but rather a collection of individuals who have impacted American history and culture in ways good and bad. Robert E. Lee, and you can go through who Robert E. Lee was and what he did, and then end up by saying the museum presents the complexities of Robert E. Lee as a leader of medical awareness, of a general in war. Point is this, they're making the case. There's good and bad in everybody. Me, you, everybody. We're all flawed. But to take it away, they're saying, no. There's good and bad here. You get to learn about it all. Really? That's kind of what everybody else has been saying about tearing down statues and cancel culture that is insisting that we got to change the name of Robert E. Lee here and down, in Fort Myers, Lee County, we got to change it. No, you don't. Especially if you believe with the Smithsonian, and I'm telling you, they're not exactly conservatives there. If you believe that and you won't take those down, doesn't it make sense that should apply to everybody? That's the point. Of course it should. There is the good and bad. You learn. You get to see it on display. You get to teach your kids. You get to learn about people's history, good and bad. You get to learn about the country's history, good and bad. And see how it ended. And see where you're going. Just thought that was interesting. And even when you're talking about the cancel culture and trying to cancel us all out, and Jake, we're just going to go right directly to break. We're just going right to break. That if you want to come into Southwest Florida and you want to come in here and a minority of individuals want to tell the majority of individuals what to do, and you're going to demand that we change, that we do things to change. No. I might say there's good and bad in everybody, and there are teachable moments to learn. And if you're going to come in here and demand that we change the name of Lee County, we're changing it to Trump County. How about that? There. Go to change.org. Go to our website, 925foxnews.com. Type the word Trump to 239-479-5592. And right now, you will be able to be part of the change.org petition. All right, let's go to break. Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Expect mostly cloudy skies, breezy conditions today, and off and on scattered showers and storms. Temperatures upper 80s to lower 90s. We'll be back in